Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday, March the 21st, 2019. It's another Technical Alpha podcast. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're new to the show, here at Technical Alpha, we're just a couple of old dudes talking about video games, movies, and for the most part, for quite some time, probably talking about Jeff's child, whether you like to hear about baby shit or not. Jeff, how you doing?
Tired, man. Very tired today.
I don't suppose it's because you have a baby.
It's fully because I have a baby.
Okay.
It's been, I wouldn't say it's been a struggle, because Kayla's had it worse than me for sure.
Fair.
But it's been different. You know, we get silence between. They usually go to bed at like midnight. I mean, they're sleeping off and on through the whole day, but
It's like a cat. They're just like they're asleep, they're awake, they're asleep.
Physically in the room, the guest room, together at midnight. By midnight, we've been rewatching all of Game of Thrones. So that's every night we've been getting in a couple episodes. Just finished season 1 last night.
Very
Such
nice.
a fire show, man.
Rest in peace, Sean Bean.
It's so much better when you've already saw like 7 seasons, and then you go back and then you pick up on shit that you
you catch all the small stuff.
I was like, oh my! It's like it's totally. Anyway, they get up there about midnight. I go into bed. I try and go to sleep right away. Like I probably watch 1 or 2 small YouTube videos, and I pass out because my brain knows I'm going to be waking up real soon.
You got to get to bed quick.
So like. Everything's quiet till about 3:30 in the morning when he gets up to do his first feed. He cries, Kayla feeds him, he goes back to sleep. Then he gets back up around 4:30, 5:30 in the morning, and that kid screams. Don't matter if he's got 2 titties in front of his face, if he's got fucking whatever. It's just nonstop, until he's just like, you know what? I've had enough. Like, he'll cry so much that like he needs to stop to like catch his breath and not die. and then when he's done with that, then he'll go again, and it usually lasts for about an hour, off and on. Like Kayla feeds him, and he's fussy because right now he's going through a growing spurt, and the nurse said or the doctor said it's probably going to be a rough next week or so, because this is usually when they have like a really big growth spurt, and you could tell like he's just uncomfortable, like he's growing fucking every day. I wake up and I can tell because. When I first picked him up, you picked him up.
Yeah.
You're like, holy shit, man, this kid is really small. It's like a really small baby.
Yes.
Now it's like every day that I pick him up, my hands kind of get a little bit further apart, and he gets a little heavier. And now it's getting to the point where I almost gotta he's starting to turn into like a little boy almost.
Of course, yeah.
So he's growing fast, and it's pissing him off. Rightfully so.
It pissed me off when I was growing fast too. So
yes.
I can appreciate the struggle, the uncomfortable feeling.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, that's so the nights have been long.
Yeah.
It's to the point where the last 2 nights I thought about getting up and just starting work at like 7 a.m. because I'm like,
say, fuck it.
I'm already up. But I know if I come downstairs, I start work, I'm going to be dead tired at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Burn out, need a nap,
and then I'm
going to
need a nap, and I'll nap for like 4 hours, and then my whole sleep schedule will be fucked. So
Game over.
So yeah, that's been my night.
Nice.
Yeah.
Other than that, nothing else crazy.
Same old. Doing lots of voiceover work.
Good.
Getting lots and lots of. I shouldn't say lots and lots, but finished that video game. That's done.
Nice.
I got to invoice them. I've been doing a whole bunch of smaller stuff. So just get more experience. It's fun.
Great.
Burning my mornings.
How was that League of Legends stint that you did randomly?
Oh, that lasted all of 2 hours. I played 3 games.
Okay.
Lost all 3.
Great.
Had partners that just raged the whole way. Didn't matter. I played my Leona.
Mm-hmm.
And I had Gunner with me, who's a good ADC.
Yeah, Gunner's good.
And top lane just fucking fed like motherfuckers. So had like Darius with like 10 kills before we got to the end game. So he was just dunking on everybody.
Classic.
And then the next game, they fed Annie mid lane. And Annie was just literally just pressing R. And people were
dying.
People were just dying.
Yeah.
And then this third game, another Annie showed up. Mid lane, fed him.
So I guess Andy's back in the meta then.
I don't know what the hell's in the meta. Also found out...
Andy was a troll pick for a long time.
You know what else I found out about League of Legends?
What?
There's an Iron League.
Oh, they've gone lower.
They've gone lower than Bronze, bro.
Can you imagine digging yourself out of that one?
No. There's an Iron League, guys. I thought... Gunner said, because they have this thing where when you do your placements, I played one game and then they give you a placement rank, but then you have like eight games to get an actual rank. So after my first game, my first loss, I was bronze 1. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I got bronze 1, and then I lost another game, still bronze 1, lost another game, still bronze 1. So apparently through your 8 games, you can kind of see like where you're going. And I was like, I'm right at the bottom of the barrel. And Gunnar said, no, bro, there's an Iron League now. There's something lower than bronze. I was like, I actually thought he was joking. I'm like, you're joking, right? No. And he was like, no, I'm dead serious. People were like, no, there's an actual Iron League. Iron, not bronze, iron, bro. And you know what it is? I bet you they put it there to make it so that the people that are stuck in bronze, to make it feel like they're not the bottom of the barrel anymore. To subconsciously feel like it could be worse.
Because I doubt that like the strata of players would necessitate an Iron League. Like you've already got in the traditional, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, masters, whatever.
I think there's grandmasters now.
Yeah, so there's 6 or 7 like
challenger.
Like how much of does the bell curve distribution like iron? Are you on like the bottom fucking 1%?
The player base has gone down, man. It hasn't gone up, so I don't know why you need more placements. It don't make no sense. Anyway, fuck League of Legends.
That happened.
Lasted a couple hours tops, and then I uninstalled.
Incredible.
So that's what I do. I do my bi-yearly uninstall of League of Legends. So twice a year, I get the urge, because sometimes you get a strong urge to play LOL.
Yeah, because you remember there was a time where you actually had like kind of an okay time with it.
Yeah, and then you go on there and you're quickly reminded why you do not have that installed
It somehow
anymore.
gets progressively worse from a community standpoint. The game is whatever. You can complain about balance. It's every multiplayer competitive game. It's whatever.
Yeah.
But the community has somehow gotten progressively worse. You keep thinking that how could it possibly get worse than it is now? And then they go and do it. They find a way.
Oh, they always find a way.
They find a way.
Before you get into your week.
Sure.
Everybody that's watching the podcast right now.
Yes. What about it?
If you're watching this live on Twitch, I need everybody.
You mean YouTube?
Or on YouTube. I'm so used to
Hard
to
to get
Twitch
out of
thing.
that habit.
If you're watching this live on YouTube, or if somehow you're watching this live on Twitch, it's impressive.
Then well done.
Hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that like button. We got 481 likes on our last podcast.
They listen,
which is more than we've ever gotten, I think, since like the very beginning when there was tens of thousands of people that tuned in at the beginning.
Yes.
So it's working.
They listened.
It's a great way to support the podcast. So take a moment, even if you're watching this not live, if you're watching the VOD.
Yes.
And you enjoy this,
smash it,
man. Let's break the 500 likes for this week, because next week I want to say, all right, let's break that whatever we had previously.
Absolutely.
We got to get people in this groove here.
Get involved.
Of hitting the fucking like button.
Get involved.
I'm going to be that YouTuber, man.
Be a part of it.
Like, do we have to like fucking, hey, guess what, guys? If you click the like button and you leave a comment in the comment section below, you have a chance to win Pokemon Fire Red version, which we'll be giving away next week here on the stream.
I hope not.
Actually, no. It's not actually. There's no real giveaway, but
no.
I feel like that's what YouTubers have to do these days.
You know what Logan Paul did? He made a mockumentary about flat earthers and released it, and everyone thought he was actually a flat earther, and then he trolled the fuck out of him, but made a full-blown, high-production, honest to God, dude, I don't like the Pauls at all, but I have to give him to him on this one.
Full troll mode?
It's full, but it's like deadpan.
It's real. It's like yeah, let's go.
But he sells it back, like, and he's like, he got the whole YouTube community was all stirred up. Like, is this guy seriously gonna, on top of being an asshole, gonna be a flat earther?
At the very end of it, did he say I'm trolling all you guys?
No, dude, the whole movie.
Let's fucking go.
Is a troll.
I'm gonna have to watch that
from beginning to end. I watched the first like 15 minutes of it. I was like, I gotta hand it to this motherfucker. He was a dumb son of a bitch doing some stupid shit. But you gotta give credit where credit's due.
Give it to him.
Out of the park on that one. This week I wrapped up Mass Effect, so I'm done the first in the series. Woo. It's all done. For those who are interested in knowing, Ashley Williams got nuked from orbit. She's dead. Caden is alive. I sold Ashley's soul for $750
Worth.
So that's how much she's worth, which as a space racist sounds about right to me. So she died. We saved the council. Anderson is in, not Udina, and we're moving on to Mass Effect 2, at which point I'm going to do a save edit to make myself female, because the female voice actor for Shepard is about 50 million times better than male Shepard. Jennifer Hale, I believe, is who did that, and she did like every voice acted thing that you've ever heard in the 90s, and for good reason. She's really good. Male Shepard sounded like you or I went in and read some lines, and it's rough. So not only, I mean, it's convenient because in 2, in the beginning, if you don't remember this, right off the bat, it's not even a spoiler.
I never played 2.
Okay,
ever.
So right off the bat in 2, some shit goes down, and you literally just about die. You're put into a coma, some shit goes down, you're fucked beyond belief, to the point where they have to do plastic surgery on you to bring you back, which was their...
Is that where you can create your character?
That was their in-game way of saying, we changed how everything looks so much that we can import your person from game 1, but it's probably going to look fucked up. So we're going to give you the opportunity, if you want,
to recreate,
redo your character a little bit here. And so I'm going to do the edit to female on my save, load it into the second game, and then I'll use the plastic surgery, and I'll come out feeling like a strong, independent woman, ready to kick some ass.
Let's go.
So yeah, Mass Effect 1, as it stands, holds up not well. Not in terms of story. So story.
It didn't
and
look. I watched you play a little bit.
It's rough,
and it especially the parts where you're out in your vehicle and you're shooting people. It just looks terrible.
Well, the Mako was always bad, and it was always one of the worst parts of the game. But it was like fun because thankfully there's only about 2 missions in the game where you actually have to be precise with the Mako. And I mean precise in terms of your driving and your shooting. Everything else is just kind of like shits and giggles, and it's not really, so it never really got in the way for me when I played it originally or now. It's just kind of funny to see the Mako lose its shit. You like you hit like a fucking pebble, and you're doing like a fucking 1080 backflip, sick Tony Hawk tricks. It was like incredible. Where it really bothers you is the combat is dog shit, like really bad. Where everyone, the AI is so bad on your side and the other side. And how the battle plays out is basically everything is decided in the first 1 to 2 seconds. Because what happens is both sides see each other, your allies and the enemy see each other. Everyone uses all of their abilities at the same time, right off the bat, back to back to back. So if they got like 5 abilities, they're just fucking down the list. And so the screen is just a fucking shit show, and whoever got their shit off first usually wins.
The dream.
It doesn't matter how OP your characters are until really late game when they're really fucking broken. You just end up getting dummied. Like, you'll get Shrek'd by a bunch of stuff. A sniper will shoot you once and you're dead. And since it's one of those games where when the main character dies, even though the other players are still alive, or the other teammates are still alive, the game just ends. So when Shepard's dead, game's over, and it leads to some pretty stupid combat. But otherwise, as far as story goes and characters go, Mass Effect 1 is still the best of the entire series.
The dream.
And that part of it holds up very well. Graphically, with a couple of the mods, it still looks really well done. The voice acting is all fucking 10 out of 10 pretty much across the board. Except for, ironically, male Shepard, lead character of the game. He's terrible. Everyone else does a great job. So yeah, overall, it's good shit. You could still totally play it today. You just have to go in with the expectations that you're playing it for the story, and it might be a good idea to just play it on the easiest difficulty, so that the combat, the issues that combat raise is no longer really a problem, and you're just in it to experience the character development, the story, and just have a good time with it, and treat it like almost like a graphic novel, then treat it like a game. Do that and thumbs up, especially since it's still one of the only franchises in gaming that really did a particularly elaborate job of taking your save files from one game after the other and the decisions you made all the way back to 1. There's shit that happens in 1 that affects what happens in 3. And stuff that you wouldn't even think
that's impressive
would be like something that would actually mean anything. It's just like a small thing you did on a side mission at some point.
They remember.
Surprise, motherfucker!
We back
and we're fucking your shit up.
Remember that time you came into my house and stole my shit?
Now it's payback, bitch.
Yeah, motherfucker, fuck you.
So yeah,
make your life hell.
So definitely good so far. So I'm gonna take a break from that. I'm gonna play Sekiro, which is the new Souls game that's out tomorrow. Or today at some point.
I'm going to play that as well.
I'm going to hate myself, but it's probably a very good game. I'm still going to hate myself because, let's be honest, even if you like Dark Souls, you're going to hate yourself. Because the shit's going to kick your ass.
It's gonna beat your ass senseless.
And when you stream it, you have to put up with the fucking stream chat.
Yes.
On top of
Makes
already.
it worse.
Especially because they don't remember all the shit that they fuck up when they play. They think that they're gods in their head and they didn't have much trouble. And if they went and streamed it, oh, I would love to just sit in that chat and just be like, hey,
Yeah.
you fucked up.
Oh, you fucked up there, bro.
Time to hashtag
Hey, don't do that.
get good. Don't complain about
Aren't
the
you
game.
ever gonna
just
learn?
Get
Stop doing
good.
the same thing. What's going on?
It would be so cathartic. But that's coming up for me next up. But anyway, that was my week. I also got my new phone in. Note 9 is in,
that.
and I was dicking around with it a little bit. It's going to take me almost a week, I'm sure, to transfer everything to that and set it up, especially with all the two-factor bullshit that we have these days and getting that, because you have to, there's no real, like, easy way to transfer that shit. You've got to basically go to each account, disable 2FA, enable it, but on the other phone.
Have fun. Have fun.
The whole way through as the Gong Show. But fantastic phone. Very excited about it. Fits my hand well. I don't get cramped hands. Shout outs to Samsung for making huge phones for big people. And that's my week.
Dream.
Jeff, this was a pretty wild week in the world of gaming.
There's a lot of. There's a
couple of heavy hitters in this one.
There's news everywhere. There's big movie news. There's big game news.
Some shit went down.
Some big news.
Some shit went down. So I don't want to, even though it's first on the list, I don't want to start with Google right off the bat. Let's knock a couple of the small stuff out of the way, because Google's probably going to be the biggest talking point this week.
Okay.
Did you get to see any of that, by the way, before we?
Did.
Okay, good.
I didn't watch all. It was
But
like
you
2
have
hours long.
You have a pretty good idea.
I watched some clips of some of the
Excellent.
big.
So that's all that matters. We'll be
Yes.
able to have a nice little chitty chat about that. Let's start with this, which kind of also ties in. Actually, I'm going to type this into the movie thing.
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Disney resurrecting LucasArts.
Yeah.
That's some child-defining
You know why?
video games coming out of LucasArts right now.
Do you know why?
Because EA is sucking a fat dong.
Nope. No, there's
Why?
another reason why they're coming out with that shit.
Why is that?
Because
Inform me.
rumor is
Rumors.
the new Star Wars trilogy that's going to be
Yes.
coming out is going to be set in the Old Republic.
Oh no, I know that. That's why I just typed into segment 2.
Yes, so they're going to be selling games off the back, which will allow.
Does that mean
Knights of the
Old
Old
Republic 3
Oh
happens?
fuck yeah! Old Republic's coming back, bro.
But it's
If-
not BioWare doing it. But that might be good.
That's going to be a great thing.
That might be good that BioWare's not doing
We're
it.
going to be getting. I can guarantee it. If the rumors are true, which we can talk about in the movies
Yes.
part, but I guess we can talk about it now. If they come out and because it's the same creators and writers of Game of Thrones,
It's a good start.
they come in and they write in Star
That's
Wars.
a strong fucking start.
Old Republic style, bro.
That's some real
dark, mature, fucking real substance Star Wars, like some deep galactic.
Shit that George Lucas didn't write.
No, fuck no, George, no. We're talking some meat on the bones, bro. I said, I've been rewatching Game of Thrones, and just one thing that you know you're a great show, and you know you're a damn good writer when the conversations between characters are just as, if not more intense and exciting than the fight sequences.
That's when you know you're doing well.
Yes, and if they can encapsulate that magic and put it into the Star Wars universe.
I need Star Wars Old Republic discussions on screen that are, I still think, my favorite non-combat scene in all of Game of Thrones was Varys and Littlefinger talking in the fucking throne room.
Dude, I just watched.
And
I just watched.
You just watched that scene, and all this shit that's read. Both of them are saying shit that's really like read between the lines, motherfucker.
They're playing verbal chess.
They
bro.
are.
They're throwing shots at each other, but they're not. They're trying not to show each other
It's
that they're
all these
scared.
veiled
or,
bullshit.
Yeah, it's just there's just so much back. That's what we're gonna be. You bring that into the Star Wars world. You throw in some Jedi shit, some
Give me
lightsabers,
a
and some
lightsaber once in a while.
Just once in a while, give me a lightsaber.
Doesn't
once
have
in a
to be
while.
every episode.
That's it.
I want it to be special when I see a
I want to
lightsaber.
I want to see someone get executed fucking Ned Stark style with a lightsaber. Like that shit. Like I want shit to be that real. I only want to see lightsabers when shit is real. So anyway. Yes,
That's a possibility. Let's not get ourselves all worked up for blue balls.
No, I'm telling you. I mean, I don't know, obviously, but the fact that they are bringing the Knights of the Old. There's all this Knights of the Old Republic talk.
Yes.
And it's perfect for Star Wars.
Yes.
Right. And even more so because of how big Game of Thrones is and shows like that. And the writers these writers aren't coming on to motherfucking create a Star Wars Episode 7,
No.
8, or 9.
No.
They're coming to write some real fucking shit.
Yeah.
To tell some real stories.
Yes.
About characters that you want to love, that you want to hate,
Yes.
that you're indifferent about.
100%.
All that shit. We're not talking bang bang choo 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 and that's the show. Popcorn and face. We're talking some real motherfucking
Deep
meaty shit. These motherfuckers are not going to ruin their reputation. They come from Game of Thrones. You
to fuck up Star Wars.
No.
They're bringing the fucking guns.
They're bringing the fucking guns. Are
Everything.
They? So that's what we're getting. I'm fucking pumped. I want to hear more. I'm not going to get my hopes up completely, but it just makes sense. It just makes sense.
Damn. So yeah, hopefully the games that come out are equally as good. There's a lot of I'm going to allow myself to get excited for these two developments because I need some excitement in my life.
Star Wars needs it.
But this is like this is a gamble. The game's more than the TV show. Because if the TV show becomes a reality and they use the people that are rumored to be in it, then I'm not worried at all. But the game side of things, that has me a little worried because Star Wars has been so weak in games for so long, and
But they had no stories to tell, right? Because the Star Wars games that have come out...
They had stories to tell, it's just that EA didn't want to let them actually tell any of them.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is the stuff that they produced, there's nothing there except for pew, pew, pew. Like,
yes,
that's it.
Because they're just trying to make money.
That's it. So, but the fact that they're reviving an old IP... They're talking about these writers coming on board.
Just get EA out of the conversation. Get EA the fuck away.
I believe
from literally everything.
Yes, fuck them. Just stay away.
All EA needs to do is shut the fuck up.
Just slap your name on it and get the fuck away.
And just stay. Let your developers do their job.
Yes.
And they're gonna make you money.
Yes, and your shareholders will be happy.
Yes, just stop fucking sticking your micro dick into everything.
I think Star Wars right now is learning from their mistakes. Their video games have done shitty. Their movies have been very hit or miss, and it's been miss as of late. They're making a lot of changes, man. This Disney streaming service that's coming up, gonna have some really great Star Wars shows. I think Star Wars is making some very necessary changes.
I think they need it because the movies have been I'm gonna say hit or miss.
Yeah, well they have been. That's what they are.
And the hits aren't even like
they're not home
big
runs.
hits.
They're not home runs.
They're just especially
doubles.
for Star Wars, they're hitting a double.
They're hitting doubles, which they're not. Doubles aren't bad, but
better
it's Star
than
Wars.
Single.
It's Star Wars though. We need
Star Wars should be grand slams. Yeah,
we need grand slams.
That's juiced up Barry Bonds.
Yes, I need all of the juice.
Yeah.
Just anyway, what's next?
What's next? We've got No Man's Sky again.
No, Why are we still talking about
because they keep coming out with massive free updates. And this one is reading like, they've been teasing it for a few days now, it's reading like it might actually be the full step into
multiplayer.
The multiplayer. They might have solved the Rubik's Cube problem that they've been trying to fight now for several years since they had the game come out, of how to work with the procedural generation that the game is built on and allowing for real honest-to-God multiplayer. It's sounding like that's where they're going. So I just wanted to toss that in there because I know there's a fair amount of people that are in the community that are interested in that shit. Keep your tabs on the their Twitter account. I had this in here because we talked about it on a tangent. I want to say like 4 or 5 podcasts ago, we were talking about strategy guides and Prima in general before, right?
A bunch down there.
So Prima just got bought up.
Yeah, I heard.
By a company called Asteri, and apparently the idea is now, so they're getting out of the publication side of things, which is understandable because ain't nobody got time for that.
It's 2019.
It's the internet. It's done. GameFAQs done fucked you a long time ago.
Yeah.
And now there's even better things like playthroughs on YouTube to go and watch.
Yes.
So, they're transitioning, so they acquired and they're transitioning the company into something apparently where they're going to help game developers receive feedback from people before games are launched or apparently what it sounds like before they're even in like a beta state or something like that to help them
Testers.
basically
feedback.
like a feedback, yeah, an outside feedback
Okay.
is at least one function of what they're working towards.
Okay.
Which makes sense if it's a company that comes from playing games quickly and churning out a guide. They're going to have some idea of how to efficiently test games and go through the process and see how, from the player's perspective, how it's going to look. So that makes sense to me. I'm kind of sad to see them go from print, even though I haven't bought a Prima strategy guide in a long time. But at the same time, it's nice that they didn't just fold and they're actually being used for something else.
Well, and the other thing is if you guys got your guides out there, hold on to them, because the prices, the value on this stuff is gonna fucking go way up.
Especially if you're a collector like Jeff, and it's going to be a thing where it's like, do you have the game in the
and
box,
the guide and the box
with everything, and then you also have
I've got a bunch of that for Final Fantasies. I mean, we're not talking they're gonna quadruple in price or something, but
it will be a value add if you have that stuff.
100%. And it's gonna be a great collectible item too, just to have.
Because there are some really nice Zelda has a lot of really nice strategy guides. They do like limited kind of runs on hardcover shit. With a lot of extra art and stuff in it and 100%. Things like that. Very good to hold on to.
If you're not like a collector like me, but you collect the games that you love, because I know like most people, even Adam has. He'll spend a fortune on, say, Myst or something, right? Really loves Myst.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people really love Zelda. Yeah. Some people really love StarCraft. Some people really love Mario or whatever.
They have their thing.
And so they'll collect all their stuff. You may really want to consider going on eBay or going to your local thrift stores, wherever, and trying to pick up the guides for those now.
Sealed if you can.
And get these in, because the prices of all those guides are going to go up.
Absolutely.
And you're going to be paying a fortune down the road for them. I can guarantee it.
As a collector, I would almost like it, even if it wasn't mine necessarily, if there was an old game and the guide was in like good shape, but you could tell that it was kind of used and it had some notes in it, because I think that shit kind of adds.
I got tons of that stuff, man.
Like, that's kind of cool, right? Yeah. It's almost like.
Especially in the manuals, like a lot of the games I have up in Super Nintendo and 64.
Yeah, because they used to have like little note sections. In them.
Dude, I've seen people with cheat codes.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Different, like all kinds of different shit. Yeah. Even the Riven, I had the Riven box.
That
I
comes
opened
with
that shit
a
up,
journal.
and the guy's got like fucking pages of notes and shit, which is
cool.
It's
it kind of adds to that's like some Antiques Roadshow type shit where you're like, I also have these added notes from the previous owner that adds all this amazing storied history to the video, and they're like, yes, I would insure it for $45,000. So yeah, that's the thing. Here's something that was a bit out in left field that I was kind of surprised. Well, not surprised. It makes sense in my head. And now that we know that she has a fair amount of acting chops, why the fuck not? Lady Gaga apparently is rumored to be playing a relatively major role in Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, that actually just doesn't surprise me.
That sounds like a really good matchup.
Yes. I didn't know. I didn't hear that myself.
I just caught this when obviously people post when I ask about what they might want to hear about, because I don't catch all the news. Something like I didn't see that shit, so apparently that's a thing. I could totally see it. I think she's perfect for that.
She's working on her acting skills now, and she's she just won an Oscar.
What was that movie called again? That was that she just won the Oscar for.
Star is Born.
Star is Born. Mm-hmm. I mean, acting wise, I think she's not. She's not bad.
She's great.
She's really good.
She was good in that role because she's basically playing
herself. Yeah.
Which is super authentic. So we'll see what happens. She's also rumored to be playing what's her name in The Little Mermaid?
Ariel?
Esla or whatever.
The
big drag
heavy
queen type heavy octopus.
Yeah.
Isla or Elsa or Elsa.
I can't remember her name.
Forget her name, but she's rumored to be playing that, which is also a perfect role for her as well.
Yeah.
Because she's really into the LGBTQ community. She's got a big, giant voice. She's got kind of that, I don't want to say look, but she's got the sass.
She's got the sass.
She
needs the sass.
She's got that little bit of like indifference, that like, somebody just can't just kind of go in and do. You just got to kind of be that.
Yeah.
And she is that. So she's getting
She's
getting a lot more offers, a lot more work.
I think she's just super talented in general. So
Ursula,
I'm happy to Ursula. That's it. Yeah,
Ursula.
Yeah. So that's the thing. And if it becomes truth, then I'll be interested to see how she does because
I mean,
voice
it
acting,
could be a small character, right? It might not be
could
like
be.
a main character. It could be
could
just
be.
like, a side character or whatever.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. But I think that's a good fit for her for sure, if it is true, and I'd be interested in seeing it. Epic Store is just all over the news every 5 friggin' minutes in the last week for all sorts of reasons. We'll highlight a couple of them here. So it starts with one. There was a game, Phoenix something. I can't remember what it was. It was a Kickstarter game. And when the Kickstarter was around or starting, the Epic Store, as we know it now, obviously didn't exist. And no dice.
Nope.
Get fucked. I haven't done mine. Here, you can open mine, see if I'm any luckier. So she...
How about that Tim Hortons sponsorship?
Well,
we have Tim Hortons every damn...
I was thinking about that every week. Tim
yeah,
Hortons
you know what?
sponsorship.
Hey, I don't even need them to pay us monthly. Just give us a gift card that we can use every month so that we can supply a couple donuts, some Timbits in the middle, and a cup of coffee.
I'm down for that.
I'm down for that. Just
Absolutely.
fucking send us each a $100 gift card a month.
Done.
And I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm done, Tim Hortons.
Hook us up.
Anyway,
Timmy's.
keep going.
So, no dice?
No dice.
Get fucked. I can't remember the exact name of it. It's Phoenix something. It was a Kickstarter game by a relatively small company that included some industry alumni from some other relatively well-known game. I wish I was remembering more of it right now. I didn't write it down because I didn't actually originally plan on talking about this one. I just remembered it while I'm sitting here. But that's kind of what started all this talk this week anyway. And so when they did that, they said that it was originally going to be, I think it was Good Old Games and Steam released. You get to choose which you want your key for, whatever. After the Kickstarter is done, and now more recently, Epic Store shows up, and for small companies and stuff, they're offering huge deals,
saving a lot of cash
for these 1-year exclusives. And so they came out and they said, "Hey guys, so here's the deal." We went to Epic, and Epic is in for 1 year, and we're it's going to allow us to do a couple things. It's going to allow us to provide extended support for this game for 2, maybe even 3 years with the kind of money we're making, and it's also going to allow us to provide all of the backers with the first full year of DLC for free for everyone who is backers of the game, which is pretty fucking good.
Yes.
So not only does it give the devs more money to allow them to extend the support of the game, but also to give stuff to free for the backers. But they also then said on top of that, they said, look, we also appreciate they're not blind. They've seen how the reaction's been. If you're not okay with this, if you're uncomfortable with us going to Epic for the first year, we will refund you.
Yes. Your money.
Just let us know.
Yeah.
We will give you your money back.
Take it.
That should, those 3 things.
That ends the conversation.
Should tell you how good this move is financially for this small developer that they're willing to, 1, give a full year of DLC for free, 2, eat up any and all refunds that might come their way. That should tell you for a small developer how important what Epic is doing,
and what Steam is doing,
and what versus what Steam is doing, or other places where they'd be putting this on their storefronts. That should give you an idea. Of course, that immediately made that developer and Epic, furthermore, the Antichrist in the eyes of basically a bunch of the backers. Everyone came out, not going to buy your game. Fuck you. The usual spiel, because
I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. Why?
So I'm going to tell you, these are the usual suspected reasons so far. All right. Epic doesn't have nearly the functionality of Steam, and so they'd rather everything just be on Steam. Epic
functionality is what? They don't have a play button and
they
install,
they don't have like the community support. They don't have like the all the peripheral shit outside of just buying the game. Okay. Any extra added stuff I don't use, but apparently lots of other people do. I can't speak for them. All I know is that they say that the feature set for Epic obviously isn't as robust as Steam, given Steam had over a decade to get there.
Yes.
But that's one of the reasons.
Okay.
Just want it to be on Steam for that reason. 2, They're concerned about the security on the site because they had a minor security breach earlier. They're concerned because Tencent owns a fair stake in Epic, so they're concerned that China is taking all of their information about how much they play Hatoful Boyfriend and selling it to people for advertising. They're concerned about the fact, the other thing that happened this week was there's a file that Steam sort of encrypts that contains stuff for your friends list.
Mm-hmm.
And the games that you play and how long you play them and stuff is all in this file. And Epic was using that file to populate, if you were importing friends using that file, but then skimming it for the other information on the file to see your Steam library and how long you were playing these games, etc., etc. And people lost their collective minds about that.
Okay.
So the reasonings so far seem to center around security, even though we could talk about Steam security all day. Customer support, we could talk about Steam's customer support all day. China, and the fact that Steam has all these features that everyone else uses, and so they can't possibly want to have another launcher. That seems to be about it. There are also a lot of these people, not all of them, but a lot of them are the same people that will sit there and champion developers of these games and want them to make more money and to be able to continue to produce content
Precisely
for these
why
games.
they're backing these games.
And everything, precisely why they're backing them. And then Epic goes, they go to Epic, the devs, knowing about the backlash,
Yep.
do it anyway, which again should signal to people how fucking good it is financially, which I don't know if people yet understand the gravity of how shit the margins are in gaming to go there for a 1 year on a free platform that you pay $0 to use. This isn't go buy a $500 console so that you can play the game if you want to right now.
You want
or just wait.
You want to know what's funny about all this? The people that are complaining about things like security, you guys are cucks. You
do
guys,
you, hey, Jeff, hey, Jeff, do you use Google, Jeff?
You're a fucking cock. You're on fucking Patreon giving your fucking information to Patreon. To Patreon.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna say to Patreon. You probably have a Facebook account.
Yep.
A Twitter account that you're fucking screaming at. You're going on fucking Reddit to cry. You probably got a 4 and 8chan account.
You buy shit on Amazon,
You
Jeff?
buy shit on Amazon? You have a Steam account?
Do you occasionally say, hey, Google?
Any of that shit. You're pulling at straws. Stop making a war out of nothing. If you want to support these fucking indie developers, shut the fuck up and let them make their goddamn money so they can make the games you want so we don't get more regurgitated shit from EA. Please, get off your fucking high horse. It's a free fucking launcher,
yes.
You motherfuckers. They probably already have Fortnite installed on their fucking computers. The fuck? And they're giving you your goddamn refund if you're such a cock. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. It's so stupid. It's like fucking listening to the... It's so... I can't even put it into words. Man, shut the fuck up. Jesus Christ, man. The entitlement is... It's so baffling.
These are the... You know what?
It's gonna give me a heart attack, bro.
These are the people... These are the people
you stupid motherfuckers,
that complained about Facebook.
You stupid motherfuckers,
that complained about Facebook and then said, let's all move to Instagram. And not once went, wait a minute.
I wonder who the fuck is running Instagram. You stupid cocksuckers. You scared of China still? Trump voter? The fuck off the internet, man. Jesus. Get over yourself, man. It's just nutty. It's nutty.
It is nutty.
It's nutty.
It's fucking crazy.
They're making so much more money that they're gonna walk through the valley of the shadow of death and still offer you a fucking refund. Full blown.
And you're
No questions asked.
No, I don't know. I don't want to wait. I'm not going to buy your game when it's on Steam later just to spite you for going somewhere where you can turn around and give us all free shit for a year and then continue to create content for 2 to 3 years where there was a chance that could have never happened otherwise.
This isn't even really, dude, this word exclusivity is starting to irk my... It's not even really exclusive! You download a free launcher!
It's on the PC for free!
It's not like...
It's free 99!
It's not
if
like
you walk
fucking...
into Costco and some fucking 48-year-old obese woman with a hairnet hands you a fucking cracker with hummus on it, that shit is just as free!
But I don't like hummus!
It's free! Take the hummus on a cracker! It's delicious! You don't have to buy it! You just got free food!
It's not like the shit is going on Xbox and you own a PS4. This ain't a console war, man.
Fuck!
It's a free fucking launcher.
Fuck!
And if privacy is your issue, get off the fucking internet, you dumbass. Stop making excuses. We get it. You're used to Steam. You want all your games on Steam. You want your list to get higher on Steam.
But they also complain about Steam.
It's fucked. It's absolutely fucked. Fuck off.
Again, we're talking about a company, Steam.
I don't even like Epic. I don't even like them.
Neither do I.
But I got no problem with what they're doing.
No.
I don't give a fuck. I actually don't give
It makes sense.
You know what? I'm actually starting to think this is the play. I'm thinking that now all indie developers need to just go on to Epic
at the same
motherfucking just make the play, because not only are you pissing off the cucks out there, but you're creating headlines. You got us screaming about
just
it. You got other
it.
people, and then people. It's getting more attention.
Yes.
These indie developers that only have so much for marketing, they're benefiting off this. Not only from the money they're saving from Steam, but all the shit. That all the negative articles and people fighting with each other, it's all good for them. I actually think they should all just go there, bro. I don't give a fuck about Steam. Steam is great. I have my games on there. If it's available, I buy it. If it's not, whatever. If I really want to play this game, I'll use the Epic launcher. Hell, they could come out and they could put it on Discord and put it on the Discord launcher. And if it's a game that it's free,
I'm going to download it. You know why? Because I'm interested in it. And if the dev said, hey, we get a good deal out of this, and it's going to allow us to keep this game going, I'm going to fucking go, awesome.
Can you imagine if it was a game like Cuphead, right? Cuphead goes, guys, we got this amazing game. We worked so hard on this game.
One of the greatest indie games of all time.
Said, you know what? You guys have been backing this. It's great.
I guarantee you if it came out right now, it would be on Epic.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
And can you imagine people complaining to get an Epic game like that, with pun intended, getting an Epic game like Cuphead, and then complaining that they have to download the Epic launcher to play it so that they can make more money and potentially DLC for free for a year, get updates, and then make more money so that we can get a Cuphead 2 in the future. That this is just a one-off deal. That just don't make any sense, man. It don't make any sense. So, anyway, before I blow a gasket, they're idiots. Anybody that's complaining about this, you're an idiot. It's free to download. I'll debate all day.
It's fucking
You know what?
wild.
You get one of these, find one. Find a fucking cuckhead and bring him on the goddamn podcast so I can call him a cuck to his fucking ears. I'll debate it to the end of time.
They don't want to debate it.
Of course not, because they're fucking wrong. They're all wrong, dude. It's stupid. It's like flat earthers stupid. It don't make fucking sense. It don't make no sense. If the Epic launcher costs money, I get it. If it was an Xbox exclusive instead of PS4 and they were hoping that it was going to be on all systems, I get it. But we're just talking a launcher here. You can't use your poor goddamn Steam for 1 year. It's only a year, and that's if you want to download it. And if you're such a backer, why don't you play it on the Epic platform, and then when it comes out on Steam, buy it on Steam too?
Dude, it's fucking nuts, bro.
Fuck
so that happened, and then that led into this.
No. What? What now?
So, as it turns out, the devs and publishers for the games that you would know here, Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, Detroit Beyond Human. They've been looking for an avenue to get that shit onto the PC platform for some time. Epic has now provided a really good fucking way for them to do that. They've said, guess what? It's coming to Epic exclusively. And now everyone, once again, losing their collective minds.
You know what? Every week we should have like a
coming
up on Epic.
Yes.
This week in Epic
coming
news.
up on Epic Store.
Yes.
Get fucked.
I love it. I love it.
So now, I
love it.
It's fucking bonkers.
I love it. And I want to see what Steam does about it. Innovate.
Nothing.
Do something.
They're gonna do about as much as they did when it took them fucking like 2 weeks to get rid of a game that was exclusively about rape. And then when they did say something about it, they didn't actually denounce games about rape.
No.
They just kind of talked around it.
Shoved it
and
under
then just like, it
didn't happen. It's like it didn't happen.
Half-Life 3.
You know what Steam's gonna have to do? And it's inevitable. It's inevitable. And it's gonna happen this year. Or they're in some doo-doo butter. They're gonna have to start juicing up the deals for indie developers. They're gonna have to compete with Epic. I don't know what Epic is doing behind the scenes. I don't know if Epic is paying these companies a large sum of money to have exclusivity, or they're just taking bare minimum profit for the first so many copies. I don't know what the deal structure is. We probably will never know what the deal structure is because that's just the business world. But whatever the fuck they're doing something right, and they're helping out these indie developers, which is exactly what we want as true gamers. That is quite literally what we pray for.
Yes.
That we and it's available to everybody for free.
Yes.
It's
yes.
And so what Steam's going to have to do is Steam is going to have to bend their will, and they're going to have to come to terms with the fact that they're going to need to compete, or just give these indie developers a better deal, or every single one of them, because they're crying wolf right now. They're crying. But let this keep going for about another year. Slowly, people are going to start the games list on their Epic launcher is going to start to stack up. They're going to, Epic launcher is going to get more and more updates. It's going to become more like Steam. It's going to become more of the norm. Less and less people are going to cry about games going on there, to the point where Epic is going to become just a straight, they're already a competitor now to Steam to some degree. Maybe not for the big AAA titles, although Metroid went on there, which, I guess is as close as you get so far to, I guess, a AAA title. Not quite there, but it's getting there. I think it's just a matter of time before it becomes the norm, and Steam is just going to have to do something about it. Because wait until the big dogs start going, what's going on? Hey, Epic, let's just have a chat. Let's just sit down and talk business. And I can guarantee if Epic sat down with any of these big games for more than 5 minutes.
And for that 1 year.
All it takes is one big motherfucker.
Yep.
Some big that go, fuck it, we're doing it. The deal is too good. The market is too competitive right now. The free-to-play market's beating our ass.
I promise you right now, that's already happened. We just haven't heard about it yet.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet. Guaranteed. Can you imagine?
And in fact, if it has happened, we're probably going to hear about it soon.
Yeah.
Because all of this shit's already happening. So if they throw it out while everything else is already happening, it takes the heat off of them.
Yep.
So if we're going to hear about it, it's coming soon.
This year. It's going to happen this year. Let's go.
It's coming soon.
Can you imagine how much we're going to hear about the Epic launcher and what Epic is doing at E3? Like, there's going to be, it's going to get to the point where Epic is it's going to be its own thing. They're so big, it's going to be its own thing. We're going to hear news about what's coming to Epic.
So I have to say that I would normally never do this, but this is actually so shocking to me that I just read this in chat that I'm just going to have to make some assumptions about what they actually meant when they said this, and then just give my 2 piece on it because I feel like I have to. Alexander in chat just said not long ago, so long as it's properly labeled and rated, I see no problem with rape games. So what I'm going to assume that means is that what he really means is, as long as it's properly rated and labeled, games that have storylines that might include a character being raped, on a tangent where you aren't physically the player character
fucking an
raping
NPC.
Somebody.
Yes.
As part of a device within the grand scheme of things.
Okay.
because it's a topic that we shouldn't just not talk about.
Yep.
It should be there.
Yes.
Fine. We're talking about a game that is literally you in Japan running around physically just raping everything in sight down to dead bodies as the character. That is the mechanism of the game. You are physically raping. I don't care if it's rated R for rape. I don't care. You don't do that shit.
Dude,
that is the fucking dumbest thing I've ever heard. If that is in fact what you meant by it and not what I said previously, then you're fucking high.
That's the type of shit that we're legitimately, where I wouldn't even blame the news and the media to blame video games as a thing that is getting into the minds of young adults to go out and rape people. If publishers are gonna release that shit, and the companies like say, can you imagine if Xbox and PlayStation decided to release Rape the Game? That's it. It's not okay for them to do it. It's not okay for Steam to do it. It's not okay for Epic to do it. It's not okay to let the game go for as long as it went on. It's not okay. It's not okay under any circumstance. That's like playing Terrorist the game. Grab a gun and see how many schools you can shoot up. That's the purpose of the game. You think that's cool?
So for that,
that's not cool.
So hold that thought. So his response here was actually, I mean, any type of rape. Some people have those fantasies, and it's better to let them release it on games in real life. I'm not saying it's moral. So if we applied that logic to what you're saying right now, is that it should be, what we should have is Sandy Hook, the video game.
Yeah, just...
So because people have those power fantasies of going into an elementary school and shooting a bunch of children. So it would be better for them to do it in Sandy Hook, the video game.
Yeah.
Than it would be
to do it in real life.
To just do it in real life.
Yeah.
So we should just let that
shit... You should probably get some fucking help.
We should do that.
That's what you should probably do,
have
is get some fucking help.
That
and
makes
not only
sense.
that, for all the people that don't fantasize about that shit, let's put them into a world where they're suddenly thinking about going into a school and how fun it is.
Let's normalize
to go
it.
in. Yeah, let's just go in and shoot kids.
Let's normalize shooting
That's
children.
one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever heard, man. That's literally one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever heard in my life. Stupid. Anyway, move on. It's fucking dumb.
Oh, God, that was a painful situation. I had to speak on it, though, because that shit was actually...
Take it to 4chan, please.
It's fucking...
Take it to 4chan.
These days, it's 8chan.
Holy shit, man.
So, yeah, that happened. Battlefield 5 Firestorm BR trailer launched because that's actually dropping soon, and nobody cares.
Say that one more time.
Battlefield 5 Firestorm Battle Royale trailer dropped because it's releasing soon and nobody cares.
I'm gonna be honest. I thought that shit already came out a while ago and
no,
died.
it didn't. No, because remember they released the game and they said, "Sorry, we're not going to have it until like spring."
Oh, you missed the like the 6-9 month period now.
And only that Apex is now out.
You're done.
And now you're going to come out with it.
You're done.
Good luck.
Bye.
Speaking of Apex's first Battle Pass released. They have their first new champion, Octane. They have the Battle Pass out, and it's not really exciting very many people. The Battle Pass is pretty weak. The skins are pretty weak for what you're paying for it and the amount of time that you have to put in to like unlock every level of the Battle Pass. People are saying it's way too much work, and that's disappointing to me because I was okay with like the skins that launched with the game and stuff being weak because they're getting the game out.
Yes.
And when I say that they're weak, I mean that Apex has the shittiest customized skins for champions or weapons of any game in the space
ever.
Period.
Yeah.
I would literally rather have no skins than have 98% of what's in Apex right now. There are some of the laziest skins imaginable. So I was hoping with this Battle Pass that we'd get the first round of like some good shit. Didn't happen. On top of that, they're fighting massive waves of hackers, which I give them credit for because they're putting in work. The problem is they can't seem to keep up with it. They've banned almost 400,000 of them as of just about a few days ago. And yet, when I played just recently, minimum 1 in 3 games, I was killed by a hacker.
Oh, easily.
And that was a minimum.
Dude, there was somebody streaming hacking.
The problem is, it's so difficult now to tell the difference between somebody who just legitimately no-life the game and is very good, and the pixel-based hacking that's been going on, that sometimes it's a shady area, but there are when I say 1 in 3, those are the obvious hackers.
It's like stream snipers.
Like an R99 from like 400 feet away, and it's all headshots, and they hold the button down type shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's super fucking obvious. And it's not uncommon. Everyone else seems to be having the same kind of experience. You watch even really good streamers that are very good at the game. They can take out hackers occasionally because they just outplay them. But you're talking about people at the top of the fucking game.
Yes.
And they're still putting up with it. And even they get killed by it. And they're commenting on it. But some of them who are getting paid to play Apex still, they can only say so much.
Yes.
They just have to roll with the fucking punches.
Yeah.
So they're fighting this hacking front. The latest patch also introduced a large number of new crashing bugs.
Yep. Where
now they're generating an error report so that you can send this stuff in so they can try and tackle these. But here's my take on it. I'm okay with the fact that there's hackers in it. That's going to happen in every game. The fact that the game is free makes it very difficult. I'll question them using the engine that they did because it's allowed pretty much everything that's ever worked for Team Fortress 2 to work inside of Apex within a very short period of time of people working on coming up with exploits. There is, in my opinion, 3 months deep, no reason for somebody like Respawn Entertainment to have a game put out where hard crashing happens as often as it does.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to make excuses for them because Apex is a fantastic game, but I can't.
Mm-hmm.
It is embarrassing now, the scale of how often games are crashing on extraordinary hardware all the way down. There doesn't seem to be any, like me, I only crashed like twice, but somebody with almost identical hardware to me,
I've crashed
every like 3 games.
I've crashed at least a dozen times.
I could be playing games with people. I was playing with Gabs. She crashed literally half of the games we played together.
Yep.
And she was on a laptop with a 1070. In it.
Yep. And I've done
and downclocked the laptop. I did everything.
Different drivers. I've gone down.
Whole 9 yards.
I've done. The reality is, no matter what they say, no matter if they say, "Oh, it's an NVIDIA driver," the game's broken.
Yeah.
The game's broken. And I was saying this for a while, and I'm happy that you're coming over to the dark side a little bit and kind of admitting that.
Well, like I
this
said
is getting
early
too
on,
long. Early on, even I was like, you know what?
You have to give them some time.
Yeah, they just came out of nowhere. There's millions of people that are downloading, playing this game.
There's a lot
obviously
going
going to
on.
be bugs. But at this point, it's starting to get stupid. They're not fixing the issues at hand.
Yeah.
The hackers are getting dumb. People that are streaming the game are starting to get tired of streaming the game because of said issues. It's not looking good. Listen, there's still a massive game.
It's not like they're on the brink here.
Nope, but it's not good what they're doing. And I said it on Twitter. I'm going to say it again. They keep this up in 6 months, they're going to be PUBG status. And that's just the way it is.
Well,
It'll be the Chinese hacking, and it'll be a small amount of North American people that'll enjoy and keep playing the game. The console people, the real casuals that don't really know too much and they just go with the flow. But for the most part, in terms of Twitch viewership, and that's how I consider a game successful these days, because
especially in the Battle Royale space.
Battle Royale space, that's it. I don't think they'll be as dead as, say, Call of Duty, but I think they're going to be at the PUBG type of level in 6 months if they keep this up.
Yeah.
They still have a chance. They can patch this stuff in the next month or so. They can, give the people what they want. They'll be fine. They're going to continue to soar and do great things. But I think we're going to start to see a Fortnite re-renaissance, where Fortnite's going to start coming back, because Fortnite doesn't crash, or it's very rare. I mean, I haven't even heard of crashes, but I'm sure some people have.
You don't really hear about
you don't hear
hacking.
Hacks. No, you don't hear about it. You don't hear about any of the issues that Apex is having. That's it. You hear about the great stuff that Apex has that Fortnite doesn't have, but then it gets overshadowed by all the bullshit. And anybody that's playing Apex for any considerable period of time, they've dealt with these issues one way or another. And eventually, when starts to get ultra competitive and talent is starting to get higher and higher, the less you're going to want to deal with those issues. It's really that simple. So I'm giving them 6 months. If they can't figure it out, Apex is going to ruin a great thing. They're just going to ruin it.
And then when Apex first came out and we first talked about the issues that it had and whatnot, and I gave them about close to the same timeline. I said 6 months to 9 months, I think, was what I gave them, before the community will flip. And we're seeing the seeds of that flip at about the 6-month mark from where we are now.
Yep.
And people when I've said that were like, well, what the fuck? Because, you know, Fortnite got all this time and PUBG got like 2 years and like all this. But here's the thing.
Different now.
Here's the thing. The market for this genre has matured.
Yep.
People have already gone through all of this shit with the games you just listed.
Yep. We're tired
So when another game comes out, especially when it's from a well-known developer, they don't want to go through that slog again. So their patience level for it and their
way different.
Totally fucking different now.
Yep.
We want to be beyond that shit. So if you're going to come into the game, which is why it's so difficult to get in, because it's no small feat to do a battle royale from logistically speaking, it's a nightmare.
Yep.
So if you're gonna do it, you gotta fucking be ready to go to war.
It's kind of like you know, back in the day, we used to play on the original Xbox. We talked about this a few podcasts ago, playing the old school Morrowind on Xbox. And there's some crazy long loadings. You open up a door and the shit loads for about 40 seconds, and then you're like, oh shit, I didn't mean to go through that door. I actually meant to go through the other door. So now you got to click on it again and wait another 40 seconds because they got all these loading times. It's kind of the same deal with where we're at in battle royales now. We've already gone through the sort of phase 1 and phase 2, phase 3 of battle royales. We've done those loading sessions. We've gone through it. We've dealt with it because it's all we knew at the time. It was up and coming. And now, if there's those loading sessions, we don't want to see them anymore. This is 2019. We've been through this. Why am I loading in said game? That's an analogy, but why am I dealing with these drops? Why am I dealing with so many hackers? We get it that it happens in almost every game, but why is it taking so long? And why is so many hackers? And on top of that, if I'm not getting fucked by a hacker, I'm getting fucked by a drop. So what is it? So at a certain point, you're just like, we've dealt with it. And so when people make that argument, well, you gave Fortnite this much time, you gave this game that much time, yes, we did, because it was all we knew, and it was growing, and it was what we dealt with then. But now, since we've done it, the publisher should know better. They've got so many players. Hire a bunch of new people. I mean, fuck, the amount of money Apex must be pulling in is insane. Fix it. Fix it.
Well, I mean, in fairness, there's only so much, like, in the 6 weeks or so that's been out, 6, 7, whatever weeks it's been out, is that there's only so many dev cycles that you could go through, because you can't just, like, pump out a fucking thing immediately. So, if there are major fixes, we're likely going to see them now in the next 2 to 4 weeks start rolling through. The challenge that they have is that it's free. So there's not really very many downsides to just creating another account and just going back in and hacking. Apparently, they're attempting, I've seen whispers of, they're attempting to do some hardware level banning. So hardware ID, so when you connect again, you're fucking done. So the challenge that provides, though, is that some hacks actually spoof the hardware ID, so you can get around that kind of problem.
Yeah.
So it will be up to them.
They'll fix that in a couple days. They'll find a workaway.
So there's always going to be a thing, which is why when it comes to battle royales or games that are like in a multiplayer nature, I've always been of the mindset that I would rather the game cost $30 and still have all the microtransaction fuckery that I barely use anyway.
Yes. Because
at the very least, it's not an impenetrable fortress for hackers.
But it's something.
But it gives them...
Yeah, and when they get banned, you got to pay another $30.
Now you got to get in again.
Get fucked.
No matter where you're getting the key, you're paying something.
Yep.
You're paying $5, $10, $20, $30 to get back in. It gives them just that extra little bit to not want to get in. And that kind of, like I get why you go free to play, because it gives you your biggest market right away. But God, does it ever fucking open you up to a lot of shit? Because like you said, right now, if I go in and play, either one or more of my partners is going to drop out of the game. Rarely is it me, because I'm one of the lucky ones, right? So one of my partners or more are going to drop out of the game, and or I'm going to get killed by a hacker, which means that maybe 1 in every 4 games...
It's a normal game.
Is a normal game.
It'll be normal if you die quick. If you stay in the game longer, the more chance that you have of somebody dropping or you're getting get hacked.
Yeah, of course.
Because you're getting towards the end of the game where the hackers are. But it's a matter of but I know what you're saying. Yes.
You know what I mean?
I know what you're saying.
So like your payoff is the amount of time that you put in to achieve what feels like a normal game. And then the more that people know about hacking and the more that they see it, the more that they're going to start calling out people that aren't hacking, that are just legitimately good,
Yeah.
and it creates a bigger problem. It's like CSGO, if you're half decent,
Yeah.
everyone just calls hack immediately.
Exactly.
And that's what's going to eventually
It's already started.
happen. It's already started.
You're like, fuck, that guy's a hacker.
Exactly.
And then as a streamer, they're like, nah, bro, you're just bad. I do that all the time with this gun, brah.
Yeah.
and then it's anyway, it is what it is. Are we getting into the big one now?
We are.
Okay, before we do, if you guys are
Sell it.
If you guys are watching live right now on YouTube. I almost said it again. If you're watching live
on
right now
MySpace,
on YouTube or MySpace or wherever, or if you're watching this on the VOD form, hit that like button on this right now. Just take a second to hit the like button.
Are you listening on iTunes and haven't gone on there to give us a review yet? Hit us up. We haven't said that in a while.
Yeah, hit us up with a review.
Probably been almost a year since we've asked for that.
Yeah.
So hit us up with a review. We've got over 100 5-star reviews on there. Let's see if we can
Let's get to 125.
Pump that number up.
Let's get to 125. Yeah, and then if you guys want to take it a step further, you can become a Patreon to this podcast, which allows Adam and I to get together every week and produce this for you guys. This isn't stopping anytime soon, but it's a great way to show your support. Helps us out a great deal. We're working on some other things. We got some cool stuff in the pipeline. We're now streaming this on YouTube, and the reason why we're doing that is because we just get better viewership, more people see it, and we don't have to upload a separate file onto YouTube. It just automatically goes up there so that you guys can watch it. On top of that, for all the people, because the vast majority of people that watched and listened to the podcast was on YouTube or through iTunes. Those are the big ones. Only about 100 to 150 were watching.
Spotify's starting to crawl up, though.
Let's fucking go. I like that.
Spotify's crawling up.
So what was happening is some people will watch it on Twitch, but what's nice about the YouTube version now is you can leave a comment, which also helps, about anything that we're talking about. So if there's something you don't agree with that we're saying, if there's something that you want to chime in on, you can leave a comment. It's all good. But on top of that, if you're watching this on YouTube, even the VOD, you can actually watch the live stream chat as part of the experience as well. So you can have not only our reaction and what we're doing, but you can also watch the chat's reaction from the live stream via the VOD format, which is also adds another layer to enjoyment, hopefully, for you guys. So hit the like button, head on over to Patreon. It's as little as $1. And then also we've got merch and stuff that we're sending out to you guys. And then you can also get your StarCraft stuff cast. We kind of commingled everything. So I thought we'd just sell out a little bit. Because honestly, for the first 2 months, we did a good job at selling out.
And then we just stopped
selling out. And
every
other podcast I listen to is plugging their shit, doing their stuff. And it's time. It's time. We need you guys involved. So
why are the first 19 episodes no longer available? I've heard that before from somebody. I think it was on Google Play that happened. When I went on to iTunes, everything was still there. If I go into Spotify, everything is still there. And SoundCloud, everything is still there. So if you're missing some stuff and it is just from Google, I'll let you know right now, Google Play is fucking hot garbage for podcasts. They get the RSS feed shit messed up all the time. We are using the world leader in podcast distribution. So there is zero from my end that I can do.
Consider the first 19 dead unless you want to go on YouTube and listen to them.
Well, no, YouTube, Spot, like I'm saying, everything but Google. No, everything but Google.
Well, then fuck Google. I mean, just go watch it on any other platform. Also, we are on early today. We are getting the podcast done earlier, so every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern. That's what you guys are going to see. That it's going to we'll have the video that we'll post up, so you can see the countdown timer when we start. Boom, right at 4 o'clock we start. That way, Adam's not here until midnight most nights, and it gives us time as well after the podcast to record any StarCraft. And then we can kind of have our nights.
It's also good for Europe and West Coast. The timing thing is
that as well. And then also
on.
On top of that, I have a newborn.
Yes.
And I'd like to spend some time. And also on Thursday nights, sometimes there's a brand new release. So maybe Adam and I want to go out and check out a movie.
Yeah.
So that we can, so that we're ending at a reasonable good time. So that Adam's getting home by 8 or 9 p.m. instead of midnight. So that's why, and it helps out Europe, helps out West Coast.
Absolutely.
It helps out everybody.
It's a good thing.
And we have energy.
Like Martha says, it's a good thing.
It's a good thing. So now that all the sellout is done, hit that like button. We only got 132 likes.
Smash it!
Smash it! Smash it!
Punch it in the whore mouth!
And the 3 people that hit dislike, shame on you, and you should feel horrible.
Mr. Black.
Yeah.
The biggest news gaming-wise this week, bar none, not even close, was Google's GDC production announcing officially Google Stadia.
I saw it.
Which is their game live streaming service that is a lot more wide-reaching as far as features go than I think anyone would have ever guessed. There was stuff in there that never would have crossed my mind in a million years. In fact, there was so much that it raised a few concerns for me.
It was a lot.
But let's just, so I'm just going to give the high level breakdown.
Yeah.
And then we'll just get a little chit chat about it.
Okay.
So, Stadia is, essentially, like I said, it is a live game streaming service, kind of like OnLive tried to do like way too early many years ago. Rainway does a similar thing right now, except it's from your already existing libraries on Steam and stuff like that. This is a from the ground up by Google with Google's infrastructure video game streaming service that ties into everything from YouTube throughout their suite, and is both for players of games, content creators, developers, and publishers of the games.
Developers.
Yeah, which they didn't do, but they should have. They're bringing on names of people that you would probably know in the industry. Jade Raymond was out on stage for that stuff. They had a lot going on. They announced their big partnership with Ubisoft. Eve was in the audience there. Did his like little French smile and wave when they had his name called. So it was quite impressive. But what it really was it was a very buzzword laden E3 like 2007 type show where everything that was the most positive utopian level idea of the product was pitched with zero of any of the major questions being answered.
Before you keep going, can I give the perfect example of what this was?
Fucking go for it.
And there's no better example.
I might guess what it is, but go for it.
Of what this is. All right.
Does it start with a P and end with an Eater Molyneux?
No.
No Fable?
No.
Okay, I thought you were going the Fable route.
This was Star Citizen. The pitch. That's what, dude. That's the type of that's the type of utopian shit.
Yeah.
Like levels of like, oh my god, take my money, give me it yesterday.
The difference
You're
is
answering my prayers.
The difference is at least Star Citizen continues to attempt to describe how they're going to get there. Mm-hmm. It's still a question.
But this was just an announcement. Because the first time we heard Star Citizen, we just got that video, right?
Of course, yeah,
that's what this is.
Yeah.
We got.
We'll hear more in the summer.
Oh, exactly.
For sure.
Then we'll try and make a different.
But this was the elevator pitch. This was the got in with the CEO. You waited all day for him to go into the elevator, get up top floor. You said, "Hey, by the way, I have a pitch for you." He's like, "You've got 45 seconds. Make it work." Except for in this case, it was 2 hours. Make it work.
They made it work.
Yeah. So it was big utopian shit. They're dropping stuff like teraflops, which was like I didn't think anyone ever needed to fucking use again after we heard E3 last time. Comparing the fact that the cloud-based systems that will be running this stuff are as far as the graphics wise more teraflops than the Xbox One and PlayStation combined. Not that that's actually difficult. They partnered with AMD. That was a really big fucking deal to do this stuff. So NVIDIA's not in the picture for that. So they have some sort of customized spec from AMD for that stuff. Digital Foundry already has a couple of like guesses. They did a video. Digital Foundry's fucking incredible for like tech stuff like this. But they did a guess at kind of what that spec might be based on what we know about AMD's technology they have right now, and what that would mean as far as the graphical power that it would be capable of doing. But they also talked about how they've got it so that they can tie and scale graphics card after graphics card after graphics card if it needs to happen.
Adam, give the bullet points, Adam. You're getting into too much detail.
Sorry.
Let them know because
bullet points.
Because
8K.
Okay.
But not right away.
Okay. Who needs 8K right away anyway?
Nobody.
Okay.
And they said
We're not there yet.
No.
Yeah.
But when it launches
4K.
end of the year, 4K, 60, HDR.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know how fast your internet needs to be for that, or how it's going to stick its dick in your data cap if you have one, or what the input latency is going to be. But 4K 60 HDR. Okay.
All right. What else?
That's big dick swing.
What else?
Also, going to tie in directly with YouTube to the point where if you were watching somebody live, we were playing a game right now, and you were watching this feed. Underneath the chat, there could be a button that says play, and you will hop in to the very game at the very point in which the streamer is at to play it for an undetermined amount of time, probably determined by the developer of the game, etc. Almost like a demo on the fly that they could then theoretically purchase all and be done, and then playing that game in like fucking 30 seconds.
Yes.
On anything, on a phone, on a laptop, on a tablet, on a computer,
on a Mac.
TV, on a Mac, on your fucking smart fridge.
Anywhere.
God Howard is literally just jerking off to the idea of putting Skyrim on literally a t-shirt, anything that he can get his hands on.
The Mist book.
The Mist book. You open it up, Skyrim. Anything you can do. God Howard's there. He's just fucking masturbating feverishly to this idea. So that's the pitch for this. The pitch is also that it's going to expand dramatically the capabilities of developers to do things with games that they weren't capable of doing before because of limitations from hardware on console level or even PC. Stuff like having people be able to jump in kind of on the fly, load stuff up immediately. Stuff like
not having to spend thousands of dollars on a computer. You could literally run it on a toaster.
Yes.
To some degree.
To some degree.
There's no more, oh shit, I need to build a $2,000, $3,000 PC to experience it and its full glory, and it's 60 frames, 4K. If you've got television or the device and you've got the controller, you're just loading up and going.
Ray tracing, stuff that's required, stuff like the 2080 Ti or higher to be able to do, that would just be a thing now. We actually already know that AMD cards can run a version of ray tracing thanks to CryEngine is working on their own version of ray tracing implementation, so real-time lighting. So games, so what they're saying is theoretically, again, utopian as fuck, that the scope of games doesn't need to be a problem anymore for developers. They can just they get like petabytes
be NASA
of space to make use of that, to do whatever they want with their games, whatever kind of crazy stuff that they never could have done before, and their imaginations run wild. And they had some examples of that stuff at the conference, some interesting stuff, but again, super fucking utopian. This raises untold amounts of questions in a number of areas, positive and negative. And I urge you, it is 2 hours, but they do have a recap video, I think, that they put up where they just talk about the highlights of it, of the conference, to go and watch that, to get an idea of it, because it is a big thing. This is on Google's, like, from start to finish, outside of the internet service providers, on Google's
network. That's it. Yeah.
And so, if anyone was going to be able to pull this off,
it's Google.
It's Google.
Yeah. They don't need to build anything. It's there.
It's there. So, I have almost too many thoughts. I could have almost done an entire podcast on this topic. But what were from your position when you just saw it? What were your thoughts on it? You know, from a gaming perspective, content creator. You know, how did you feel seeing it? Because I mean, it was very utopian, so you have to keep your expectations in check.
Yeah.
But you know, what were your thoughts on that? If let's say, hypothetically assume that they launch the way that they're saying they're going to be able to launch.
Well, I'll be honest. I didn't listen to the part where they said, where they said what they were going to be able to do at launch, so to speak.
4K 60 HDR.
Okay. All right. So
this year, end of the year.
Okay. So if that's the case, so the first thing that I thought when I heard about this, because I didn't even know this thing. I mean, we talked about the Google thing, and I think last week, right? Where we talked about Google's console or whatever. and we brought out the that shitty ass thing that we have back there.
Yeah.
And we were kind of making fun of the controller. Doesn't look like what we thought it was going to look like.
Fuck. I didn't mention that. Yeah. Thank fuck for
So
that.
the controller actually looks pretty good. I mean, it looks a little bulky, like a little weird.
Well,
but
it looks like if you took a DualShock 4 and merged it with the Switch Pro controller, that's almost exactly what you got.
Yep.
Right there.
It's not what we thought. So
Thank God.
That's great right there.
Thumbs up for that one.
So my initial thoughts overall was it wasn't like this is too good to be true. It was more like, okay, this is the future. It was like, it's finally here. It's kind of like the thing that really I don't know if too many people thought about or thought that there's a bunch of different gaming experiences that I thought could be coming next with the next consoles, like, the next Xbox, the next PlayStation.
Yes.
This here wasn't in my mind. Like it's the thing that when you hear about it, it's like, man, okay, that totally makes sense. But now when I hear about it and the fact that it's Google, that this isn't Xbox or Sony or
some random
ass or some other random company.
Yeah.
This I can take serious. And my biggest concerns were obviously the data. Like how fast of internet are you going to need, and how
so
is
I
this
can answer that right now to a degree before you continue. So maybe you can add on your thoughts about it. So they're saying that as low as 15 megabit, and that they think, and I would love to know how, and I need to see how good it looked because I bet it would look like dog shit. 4K 60 HDR, if I'm not mistaken, they said 30 megabit.
Damn,
dude,
they
Netflix
must be
uses more
They must
than
be
that.
compressing that shit like a mother.
They must have some wizardry
Oh yeah,
that we've never
some
seen
next
before.
level zipping. Like it's like they created a whole new WinZip, and they've got some really fucking.
And they're gonna ask you to like go on, but if you keep denying it over and over again, you never have to pay for it.
Yeah, you just don't. Just don't pay. So that was my big thing, and obviously for guys like us, this is great because our internet is god tier, and a lot of the world is god tier too. Obviously, there's places that are going to get boned here, that aren't going to like
99% of places are gonna get fucked.
Yes. But let's be real. And plus 5G's around the corner. And when 5G comes out, game over. I mean, this won't even like this just makes sense. When 5G's out, like right now you're kind of like, how are you going to pull this off? Like but when 5G comes out, then those questions just go out.
Well, he mentioned recently in an interview when he was talking about stuff like the speed, and they still don't talk about data caps. They still don't talk about input latency too much. They do a little bit. He mentions 5G is coming and that will relieve it
of a lot of the stress.
The problem is 5G, even if it were to get pushed maximum speed, we're still like 10 years before we're hitting coverage points where it will get away from people, because it's going to start in city centers, 5G.
Yes.
People already have good connections in the city centers.
Yes.
So before 5G makes an impact in the ways that you're talking about and he's talking about, we're still like a ways out.
The way I look at it is
But it will help.
Yeah,
absolutely.
oh, absolutely. The way I look at this is this. This is incredible. I mean, this is absolutely incredible. Even if they somehow manage to get out the 4K HDR 60 frames and it isn't perfect, like, but it's definitely playable. It looks good. There might be a little bit of latency, lag, whatever, right? Where as long as it's not like you click over and then, it takes a full second or two to obviously they just can't release something like that.
Fighting games are not going to happen on this.
No, but here's this is what I think everybody needs to do, and it seems like a lot of people are doing this, and I think probably even for you, somebody that's like really ultra nitpicky about their gaming experience to the 10,000th degree.
Well, I'm still on 60 hertz, so I'm not that picky
yes,
about
but
it.
I mean, if somebody's gonna bitch and nick and complain, it'll be you, and you're gonna see things that most people are not even thinking about or realizing that's happening.
I'm actually less worried about the visual quality, and the input latency is my bigger concern, because for the vast majority of people, you're right, they're not going to really notice it.
Yeah, for casual players, this is, you put out anything that's half decent, and they're
going to be
be on board. To them, they don't even know what real 4K is, for Christ's sake. They're going out and buying, $200 4K TVs and thinking they're getting, the single slightest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
That's just not the case. But anyway, what I'm saying is if people can hold their, and my expectations are high, but they're in check.
Yeah.
Because this isn't a play, it's coming out this year, but this isn't a play that is going to happen day one.
No.
This is changing games.
They're playing long
forever,
game. Yeah,
right?
They're playing long game.
This is going to change the way we look at games, the way we interact with people that are playing games, the way that we buy our games, the way that everything. And when you're disrupting an entire multiple markets, we're talking the PC market, we're talking developers, we're talking the console wars, we're talking everything. This thing,
content creation,
everything, Twitch, everything gets disrupted to some degree, but not day one.
No.
This is going to be something that they're going to have to have proof of concept to some degree. It's going to be kind of like what VR is when VR first came out, and there'll only be certain games that developers will put on for it. There'll be certain content creators that will push it. There'll be certain developers that will develop games, and then it'll slowly get better over time, over the years. And this is something that's going to blow the minds of people on day one, but it's not going to be to the point where everybody needs to drop everything they're doing and jump on board with this. This is going to be something that every year things are going to get better. There's going to be a better hardware on their end. Things are going to run smoother, less latency, less this, less that, to the point that in 3, 5, 10 years, this becomes something that my son is going to be playing. That when my son turns 10 years old, 8 years old, he's going to be walking around with the Google controller, being able to play what he wants on the fly with whoever he wants, wherever he wants. Whether that's on the iPhone 30, whether that's on a laptop, on a Mac, on a PC, on a whatever, he's going to be able to play that. So I look at this as yes, make this happen, do it right. Don't try and promise the world day one. Keep everybody's expectations in check, but change the world. And when you're doing something like that, it takes time. So I'm on board with this. I'm not expecting day one for me to be able to play the game and have the 175 people in chat right now being able to jump on immediately with me, play in this little thing, me get a little cut back the moment that they buy the game, everything run like butter. I don't expect all that day one. I just don't.
No.
And whether they promise it or not, I don't expect it. They can say whatever they want to say to sell shit. I don't give a fuck. I just expect that when it comes out, that I can pick up the controller and I can go, I'm going to play this on my laptop. I'm going to play this on my phone. I'm going to play this on this. Wow, this looks great. Obviously, if I were to play this on my PC, my high-end PC, I'd be able to do some mods and stuff. You can't do that sort of thing on this. But for what it is, this thing is going to change gaming. And eventually, hopefully, it'll get to the point that we're at now in gaming where we can have these really amazing experiences on the fly with everything, because they're basically just trying to do what we do now, but make it simple and make it just press start on a controller and fucking go.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, that's the way I think that's the way the future of gaming should be. But this ain't going to destroy the next Xbox and PlayStation. This isn't going to destroy the graphics card market. This isn't going to turn Twitch upside down on year one. This is going to be a process, so I'm all for this. I think this is great.
This is a loaded thing for me, and I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get everything out of my mouth that I have in my head for it, because I've had days thinking about it. But I'll do my best anyway. Some people are. I'll start with this. Some people's initial reactions to this were to think that it's going to fail, like Google Plus or some shit. And that this kind of delivery of video games is just never going to happen. I want to go on record by saying that you're wrong. You can have that opinion. You're just wrong. Google is quite literally, to my knowledge, the only company on Earth right now that could do what they're attempting to do, either now or in 10 years from now, as this being a starting point. And I think they're going to pull it off.
Yep.
It's not going to be a smooth ride.
No.
but it's going to be there because this is the future of games anyway.
Yep.
Whether it's Google's version that is the top of the food chain remains to be seen. But right now, they're the only ones that can really pull it off. Microsoft is doing stuff internally themselves, which is different than what Google is trying to do entirely. Part of why I think it's going to be a rough start with Google is because they are announcing the scope of feature set is so broad and reaches into so many different segments of Google's existing platforms, like YouTube, for example, for content creation and the player experience and the developer experience and the publisher experience, that they might be reaching too far, and they might have to scale back a little bit to really tighten it up, which is fine.
Okay with that.
But this is not going anywhere. No. The fact that Microsoft is coming up with a solution for it, Sony is coming up with solutions for it, Amazon, I'm guarantee you, has already been considering it and thinking about it and how to use AWS to try and pull off something similar in-house. They already have their own in-house game division anyway. Yep. It's coming. Everyone is going to be looking to do it in some way, shape, or form. It's the easiest, fastest, cheapest, if you already have infrastructure, way of pushing software to people in a way that will be software as a service that everyone hates, but guess what? It's coming anyway, so just fucking get used to it. That will make them the most money in the long term, but coincidentally will also make, theoretically anyway, everyone else in that food chain more money as well.
And save us money.
And
theoretically.
So it's coming. My concerns for it outside of that are, like I've said, input latency. And I'm not talking about the input latency that you get if you plugged in a console to, let's say, a plasma TV 5 years ago, or even a lot of the newer TVs now, where you get 35, 45 milliseconds of input latency, which is at that point 2 and a bit frames of latency just from the TV, not taking in consideration the controller, or anything else in the chain. The HDMI cable introduces latency, everything in the chain. So just the TV being 2 frames. You get to a point where you're getting like 4 or 5 frames of input latency. That's where you are going and seeing the difference. It's, there is such thing as like an imperceptible level of input latency, because as a human, your reaction speed, even if you're a god, is
only Shroud's noticing this.
You can only get not necessarily, not 4 or 5 frames. 4 or 5 frames, you'd notice it. I'd notice it. Little Timmy Sue would notice it. Fucking my dad would notice it, because you go up, like you said, you press it and you can watch the fucking.
There's just no way they ever release something that is that bad, right? So I don't even consider that an issue, because
well, here's the thing. This is my call right now, without knowing anything else. As it stands, because of how they've been talking about the latency as it stands. They've been talking about it and showing some numbers and whatnot, but we're not necessarily talking about 4K 60 HDR. We're talking about stuff like on Google's network, like some really like pretty primo conditions, and it's still pretty rough. So my guess is, in the best possible case scenario, you're doing 1080p 60, standard SDR, not HDR, but SDR, 1080p 60 SDR. And you have a fiber connection that just so happens to be like ours, where it's like one hop to like fucking anywhere, and really quick. You might get lucky, and you'll only get an extra 1.5 frames of input latency, which means if you're playing on a relatively low input latency monitor or television or your phone or whatever, it will be, for 80% of people,
fine,
imperceptible. You go above that, and enough people will notice that it will kind of determine what games people will want to play on the service. They will entirely avoid fighting games, even if they're a casual.
Of course.
They will not be able to do.
They're going to avoid
competitive shooters.
They're going to avoid that regardless.
Are a no-go. So no competitive shooters are ever going to happen.
I can guarantee there's going to be rarely any competitive.
At least right now.
For now. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're going to be looking at, adventure games. They've been showing off Assassin's Creed a lot. That makes sense. Even a shooter like Doom was smart for them, because people associate it with fast, frantic,
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
but it's still single player.
That's
and
right.
so if shit's a little slower,
That's okay.
not the end of the world.
Yeah.
You get somebody who plays a lot of Doom play it, they're going to notice it. Of
course.
But the average person, it's still going to be fine.
Yep.
So that's my biggest thing. Visually, Digital Foundry already has some comparison footage up between something like the Xbox and the 1080p feed and a 1080p feed. And I think even maybe a 4K feed and a 4K feed. And again, 80% of people, they'll be very happy with it, especially if they're playing on a screen that's not like 65 inches.
Yeah.
You play on a screen that's like a 40 inch TV or a 24 or 32
most-
or 27
like
inch
most people, yeah.
monitor. It's not really going to be that bad. It is softer from compression, but it's not so soft that when you're really playing it, that you'd likely notice it. It's different when you're going frame by frame and you get to compare individual frames to each other. But when it's on the fly, your brain isn't necessarily seeing all that shit. It's how X264 has a thing called psychovisual settings that change how the picture looks to be more in line with how you actually perceive shit when it's moving. It might look worse if you press the pause button and you look at it, you go, huh?
Yeah.
The fuck is that? It looks like that Jesus painting that the restoration girl went in and was like, I can fix this.
No, you can't.
No, you can't.
Right.
Kind of looks that bad, but when you press play, all of a sudden it's like,
looks fine.
huh?
Yeah.
So, it's likely going to be fine. My other concern is how much of the existing stuff that we have right now as far as games will be compatible with so many of the features that they announced, and how much work is going to have to be required from the developers to be able to get it there? Or is this more
What
of
do you
a
mean by that?
service? So integrations with stuff like hopping directly into the game, or making use of the scalability of the hardware and things of that nature, because they also announced that they have they're going to have their own internal game dev
Yeah.
at Google.
Yeah.
On top of that,
Yeah. They need that.
they need it,
Yeah.
because they're going to have to show off what the hardware
course.
can do and what the service can do. So I saw a couple of other developers of games mention that they're a little uncertain, because they haven't personally talked to Google yet, as to what that means for how things are currently being built out, and if how much work it's going to take to get it onto that platform if they want it to be there. So it might almost end up being kind of like, remember when PlayStation 3 had that really fancy CPU that they talked up like crazy, and then Xbox just went with a more simple design. A lot of games never made it to the PS3 because it was too complicated to convert it for PS3, and vice versa.
Yeah.
A lot of PS3 games never made it to the Xbox because it was too hard. In a similar fashion, people are kind of concerned that kind of situation could happen, at least in the short term.
Yeah.
With this platform.
Well, I mean, listen, I definitely, but I think also people shouldn't really complain all that much, because I don't think there's going to be many developers developing for this when it first comes out anyway. It's probably going to be a lot of in-house stuff, and then a couple of developers that are going to create
we know
games.
id is on board, Epic is on board,
but they're going to
Ubisoft.
They're going to be creating games specifically for this, right? That's what I would be imagining, right? I can't see them.
Well, yes, they would have it in mind for sure,
Yes.
because the market size for it is going to be relatively large.
Yeah,
to start.
so they're and Google's probably going to pay out the waz to have them make
To
these
have them
games
show up,
regardless, whether
yeah.
they make money or not. At this
Exactly,
point,
yeah.
this is going to be
It's a paycheck.
shoveling money. They're
Yeah.
going to shovel money into a fire. They're going to burn it.
Yep.
And who cares?
Keep the train moving.
That's it, right? Because it's going to be one of those things where you're not making money day one. You're not making money. Oh, year one, year two, you might start to break even year three. And that's what this is. This is what the play is. So I'm with you, but I also don't think that this is. I think this is so far past what we're used to in terms of consoles and the issues that consoles have run in. I think these guys are in a whole new stratosphere. It's this.
Well, it's
it's
true.
this thing where it's like you're either making for us or you're not with us.
Yeah.
Like, we are the future. You're coming up, or you're staying where you're at. Like,
Yeah.
that's just, I think that's where we're at with
Absolutely.
it. And it needs to be like that. There needs to not be, oh, we're going to bring these old games onto this so you can. I ain't even worried about that. This is going to be like, let's create some new IPs, or let's make IPs that we're used to,
Yes.
but specifically for this.
Yeah.
And those are the games that you're going to be selling.
Yeah,
So I don't
I
think
agree.
there's going to be as much of that of an issue.
So my only concern with that is this feeds into the next thing. I don't personally have any issues with that whole concept.
Yeah.
And I think it's more of a short-term problem than a long-term problem
Exactly.
anyway.
Yep.
Is is, and this is actually, I think, a play by Google. They understand this, and it's probably it plays into their hand well anyway, is that we already know that Internet North America sucks some dong.
Yes.
Like some fat dick.
Yes.
Not just in terms of speeds, internet caps,
Yeah, it's just
and
bad.
the quality of the line. Even if you are supposed to be technically rated for a speed, actually getting that speed is another thing entirely for like 90% plus of people in North America.
I agree.
If you're talking about a thing like this that requires, at the very minimum, a stable connection, it doesn't have to be a fast connection, but a stable connection, you're already talking about a very small percentage of the available market within North America. Take that a step further and want a stable connection with a fast download speed. Now you're asking for even more that doesn't exist. And then that's still ignoring data caps, which is the biggest hurdle this thing's going to have. Is that no matter how good the internet speed gets in North America, if they are on with a provider that has caps, they're fucked.
They're fucked.
You're never going to be able to use the program. So that's definitely the ultra hurdle for them. However, right now it's not a big deal because even though this is on Google's platform and they're going to have a good go of it because of that, it's still better for them if this has a relative ramp up, right? So if they start and there's only X number of people they know can actually access it, it's not going to strain their systems.
It's best.
It's better for them. They can scale more effectively, but they don't have to impose the scaling. The market's already imposed the scaling for them. And it will open up over time to allow more people in.
They don't need to pay anybody. It's just the internet's getting better over time. People, you
it's
know,
there. The caps thing is the hurdle for them. It will be, will there ever be a time where enough people have the option to either pay for no caps or not have caps, period, to be able to make use of this stuff? And I think they're banking really hard on 5G being the thing that does that for them, and not necessarily your standard.
And I mean, theoretically,
internet
5G
connection
should do that, right?
But at the same time, odds
but once again,
it's going to get capped.
It's going to start small and work its way out.
There's a lot.
Right?
So I think Google's coming up with this and saying, "Here's our big utopian deal. We're going to find out more in the summertime."
It's great for me. So I don't give a shit.
I'm very the street. They also mentioned, so just for content production side of things, they mentioned, for example, playing it and live streaming it to YouTube at the same resolution and shit that you're playing it at. So you could be live streaming a feed to YouTube at 4K 60 HDR.
That's nuts.
While playing it.
That's nuts.
And it's not coming off your computer because it's just them sending it from their end
it's a signal
to the live stream.
That's it.
All the change would be they'd have to build out a dashboard where you could input stuff like your overlays and stuff. It would have to be built into YouTube's backend, which might be part of what they're currently working on with the beta backend as it stands anyway, or come up with a way. No, they can't. It can't run through OBS. The moment it runs through OBS or XSplit, you have to encode it. You have to encode it on your end. So if it's just going to be video feed running,
I bet you those fine folks at OBS better start knocking on Google and say, "Hey, how did you like to hire somebody that knows what the fuck they're doing?"
They'd have to come up with some weird, crazy.
They don't even need to use OBS. Just bring the guys in and make something in house.
It would have to be something like.
Let's be real. It's Google. They do a no shit. They have people doing shit that we can't even comprehend, that we didn't even know was possible. So we're just gonna let Google do what Google does. But yes, I'm with you. I think it's great. I love this idea. I'm excited about something in gaming in terms of like the next thing. It's great as a content creator. It's great as a consumer. It's just a great look overall. Can you imagine? Like, even now, we carry around a Nintendo Switch, and that's the closest thing we got to a portable gaming system that looks great, that you can take anywhere. But just imagine just having a controller in your pocket, or in your book bag, or in a whatever, and you can just plug and go on anything, anywhere. You bring your controller I bring my controller to your house. You've got one monitor there. You've got another monitor there. We're playing side by side. We're streaming in the same house to as like co-op on our streams.
Well, they talked about
It's
local
crazy.
co-op as well.
It's crazy, the shit.
They talked about local co-op as well, whereby co-op locally has been kind of restricted by consoles for a long time because it takes too much hardware to make it happen. It's too straining to render that stuff out and make it all happen, compute-wise. So they're even playing the nostalgia of where we can bring back couch co-op. So here are my questions going into summertime. I want to know how much this is going to cost me. I want to know if I'm paying a subscription fee, plus I'm paying for every single game that I want to buy and have a library like I have Steam.
I think that's probably what it is.
And if that's the case, what if there are licensing issues? Do those games just disappear and I no longer have access to my games anymore?
What do you mean by that?
So there have been instances whereby over time when IPs exchange hands and stuff like that for licensing reasons, games have to get taken off of services. In fact, there have been a couple of instances of that here just in the last few years of games that have to get removed. And if you just own a digital copy of it,
because it's a lot of classics.
Yeah, you
right?
have, well, not necessarily classics, just like some even more recent stuff, just a couple few years old. Some shit changes hands, shit goes tits up. They have to remove the game. If you own a hard copy, you just own a hard copy. Yeah. If it's just sitting up in the cloud somewhere, then they can just take it down, and you've paid your money for it, but now it's gone.
Yeah.
It's
kind of like Netflix. Things come and go.
Things can come and go.
Yeah.
It's just, but the difference being, with Netflix, you're just paying
you pay a monthly fee.
A monthly fee.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking: is there a fee plus I'm paying for the game? It'd be like paying for Steam.
Yeah.
As well as paying for the games at the same time.
Yeah. The thing is, I can't see you buying a game and then within any considerable period of time, them taking the game off if there ever was a licensing issue. And I feel like that's something that they know, and people are developing games for this. That there's probably going to be something in the legal writing where it's like, hey, we own the rights. We own the rights. To this game.
Not like a huge risky thing. It's just one of those things that come up when it comes to because this is the thing, you're convincing people to no longer have physical shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's where we are. That's where we're at from a consumer's perspective for you and I, our generation.
Same thing with Steam.
Yeah.
We are conditioned for it now.
To a degree, but you still have people that still want to just go out and buy a console.
The same for them.
And they'll
buy it. Xbox, PlayStation, not going anywhere.
No, but what I'm just saying, like, they don't have to, but what I'm saying is this is Google's thing where they have to they want to convert. They want the most amount of people.
Of course.
So they don't want to just ignore a not insignificant amount of the market.
I think the upside that you get from this experience far outweighs the fact of having this on your shelf.
Certainly.
Or sitting collecting dust after you've played it for a week and never turned it on again.
Certainly.
You don't get any real value from trading it in at wherever the fuck you traded in from. If you want to collect games, continue to buy your consoles because they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And that would be the show. My guess is you're going to pay a hefty price for the controller. Probably almost a console
Probably
amount.
$90 Canadian, $79 American for the controller.
I think more. I think they're going to charge. I think this controller is going to be around $200 because this controller is essentially your console. This is their play. I
don't think that goes at all. No way.
I think it's going to be an expensive controller.
It's top $79 American, $99 Canadian.
Well, that would be great. There is
no. They would get crucified.
Well, then that's
for a $200 controller.
Then I'm totally fine with that. Also, I think their play too would be the different types of controllers that you'd be able to buy over time, customizable controllers, because at that point.
Well, the Xbox does,
yeah, everybody's the same, right?
Yeah.
So you get limited edition.
Like Xbox has custom controllers you can do now. I think that's a wise thing. And if their only hardware selling point
is a
controller, then they have the ability to do that. Yep. Outside of stuff, the only thing that you need something was for the TV is Chromecast.
Okay.
So that's the only other, at least now, maybe in the future from a software level they can make it work.
Yeah.
But for now, Chromecast is the only other restriction. Otherwise, you can just fucking anything you have an internet connection with a browser.
That's pretty dope. And so I think what it's going to be is it's going to be a monthly thing, a subscription based, and I think that the games are also going to cost money. But I think the games aren't going to cost as much as your standard AAA title. So I don't think games are going to be $90. I think they'll be significantly cheaper. They might be $49.99 with a subscription, or maybe they're going to say, hey, maybe you don't play this all the time, so instead of using a subscription, you can pay for a game at full price, and just like a one-off thing if you want to come in and experience it.
Here's my guess. All right, it's free. This is no subscription, but you pay for the games. I don't know. I think the games are going to be the same price they are on Steam.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to be any different. But no subscription, up to 1080p 60 SDR. If you want to go 1080p 60, actually 1080p 60, 1080p 60 HDR.
Yeah.
You want 4K? Now you're going to pay X dollars a month.
I actually don't mind that idea.
I think it'll be kind of like a Netflix thing, right?
I think
where do you want this? And then
because some people don't care. Some people don't want it either, right?
And then on one account, what about family sharing and plans and stuff? How many people can stream at the same time, just like Netflix as well? Do you have a plan where
family package,
or the ultra pack from Netflix where you can have four people or 5 people streaming at the same time? Because they're going to have some limit on how many.
Of course, or everybody's just going to be sharing their info. And that's the show.
So
right?
So packages of subscription monthly fees.
I think you're right.
Similar to a Netflix deal, because they have to also do that to get their money back, but to also limit how much people are straining.
They're also selling controllers too, right?
Exactly.
So if you have 4 people in a household, and say 3 of them, you got 3 kids, you're going to get a controller for each.
$15 a month.
Yep.
Buy a few controllers.
$80 a pop.
Now you get 4K 60. You can get 4 people to stream at the same time, games anywhere on any device on your account.
Yep.
Boom.
I like that idea.
That's what I think it's probably going to go.
I like that idea. So anyway, enough about that. We'll obviously talk about this more the more we hear more news.
Yes.
E3 will be a very
E3 is going to be wild, bro.
It will be a very interesting E3.
We're hearing Xbox next. We're hearing PlayStation's next.
There's a lot.
We're going to hear more about from Google.
Yeah, this could be like the first exciting E3 we've had in
E3 itself
years.
is going to be dry as fuck because so many people have pulled out from the conferences. It's still going to happen during E3 week.
E3 week, yes. But I just consider E3 just the whole
is
week
that
of
week?
news.
Yeah, people doing their own conferences now.
Yeah.
But it will be a wild one. 2019 is going to be a hot fire year for hardware.
Yep.
As far as news releases. So
Cool.
there you go. So that's Google Stadia. What do you think of the name?
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
And I think it means somebody said I think it means
It's the plural of stadium.
stadium. That's it.
So I got it okay, so this is as somebody who's done logo design, when I saw it, first thing that went through my mind, first of all, is their design. I'm not fucking pumping my own tires here. Their design for this shit is literally when I was redoing or considering the redo of my Shield, like only a few months ago now. And I was doing mock-up drafts of shit. That logo is literally one of my concepts, except instead of an S, it was a W. Because of War Council Gaming. Because I wanted to get away from the Shield a little bit, or consider going away from the Shield, down to the red gradient that they used.
Adam, you in the wrong
The
business.
same. But you know why? Because here's the thing.
Can you imagine if you made that shit and you'd be like, hey guys, remember that logo you stole from me? I want to get paid.
But here's the problem with this now. That makes me sound really cool and awesome and everything to some people. But here's the thing. That red gradient is like from 2017, where everyone on the internet, if simultaneously, every WordPress website that was ever fucking created and had a logo, used that same fucking red gradient and that same design language. However, I will give it to them. If you look at so it is an S, but it's in the shape of like what looks like a Wi-Fi signal, but also a section of a coliseum, the stadium. It's good. It's a good fucking design. The problem is the name sounds like a drug. Sounds like you're getting a prescription at your doctor
But it is a
for
drug.
Stadia.
It is a drug. It is a drug.
Ask your doctor about Stadia today.
I think it's cool.
Side effects include getting fucked by your internet service provider.
$500 internet bills.
So that's Stadia. It's great. I need to hear more about it.
Yes, of course.
We're going to hear more about it summer, and then we know it's releasing this year, so we're going to know more. And like I said before,
we're going to buy it this year.
Well, like I said before, you and I, the beauty for us is Halifax has the best internet in the country.
Yeah.
So
we're prime testers.
I have a gig in both directions.
Yep.
And you could probably pay another $10 a month to get the same thing if you really wanted to. But I have a gig in both directions, pure fiber to the house. There is no copper anywhere. It is a pure fiber line,
just
straight to the main veins until you're at a Cat 6E cable into your
and
computer.
there's no cap.
No.
So I'm gonna play that shit all night long.
Make the magic happen. No caps at all.
Dude, there's
And like one hop to get into New York.
bro,
from here.
we are straight up gonna be creating some Stadia content, and we're gonna try the
I'll fucking
beside
max
each other
it out.
I'll
do
we'll
whatever
do all
the
the
fuck.
tests and put them all on YouTube, because everybody's gonna be like, how does this work? How does it, what is this? We're gonna put it through the ringer in every possible way
100%.
just to see how fucked it is, or
You've
how
got
awesome
a
it is.
4K 60 HDR display. I have a 4K 60 HDR display.
I got the OLED. I got
we
the
can
I
just
got the
run
juicer
that
over
shit
there. Let's go.
fucking
I'm just,
wide
see,
open.
let's see what it can do. We're gonna see. We're gonna find out.
Yep.
We're gonna find out, Stadia.
So we'll see how it all pans out. Mr. Max is Black.
Yeah.
Hit me up with the sound of the John Wick 3 trailer.
Woo! Shit.
I was trying to watch it before we started. I just ran out of time, so I haven't seen it yet. I only saw that it came out literally right before I left the house. I saw you tweet about it, so I'm going to be watching it.
Shit's fire. Shit looks fucking.
I already know it's fire anyway,
Dude,
so I don't
shit
even need
just. It looks so fucking fire, bro.
Keanu Reeves is a goddamn legend.
Dude. John Wick 3 is gonna be better than 1 and 2.
Fuck, that's bold.
Dude, it looks fucking fire. It's a beautiful looking movie. The violence is real, bro. It's so fucking fire. That movie's gonna do so well at the box office. I can't fucking wait. If y'all didn't see John Wick 3, the new trailer, damn. And if you haven't watched John Wick yet, the fuck is wrong with you? Go watch John Wick 1, John Wick 2, and prepare your bodies for John Wick 3.
Holy shit. Every time I see another movie that has action in it now, I immediately compare it to John Wick.
Of course, and they all suck.
And they all suck dong.
Yep.
None of them are even close to how good John Wick is done. It's scary how far separated John Wick is from everything else. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't. I'm so jacked for 3, and I'll be even happier if they ended on this one and not try and run this shit for like 2 more movies.
I think they are, and they're apparently bringing. I want to say they're bringing a Netflix
show to do like some backstory stuff.
I don't think he's going to be in it, or
he might pop up once in a while.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it'll probably be about the like the whole.
I'm down for that.
Oh fuck it, give me all of it.
Give me everything.
Give me all of it. But end John Wick 3 on John Wick 3.
Yes.
And that's the show.
Just let it be one of the greatest action movie franchises
just
of all time.
Walk away from it. Walk away, because Keanu, the last time you did a trilogy, it went downhill.
Wasn't his fault though.
It wasn't his fault, but now you've got one that has just done this. And if you can, and if at some point you gotta
end like that,
yeah, at some point you gotta ramp it, and just fucking
off into the sunset.
Just go. Yeah, just go. Take your air and go. Looks fire.
It's crazy, dude. I don't know. I can't say enough about Keanu Reeves, and so I'll continue with this. They announced a Bill and Ted sequel this week.
Oh, dude, they announced that a while ago.
But they did a little fucking
it's like,
video
it's official.
on it.
It's official
but
now. I heard about this like 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's happening too. I'm not as excited about that as I am.
I just
say
like
John
that
Wick.
Keanu Reeves is doing some shit.
Yeah, man. He's ever since John Wick, his career has
back.
just boomed.
Yeah.
He's just boomed, bro. And he even came out with this shitty movie like not too long ago that nobody gave a fuck about, but nobody cares because he's John Wick.
Yeah. Let's Keanu Reeves do whatever the fuck he wants.
So I mean, hey, good on Keanu. Keep it up. Couldn't happen to a better guy in Hollywood.
Literally couldn't.
Yep.
If you tried.
Yep.
We already talked about the Old Republic. Anything else? TV, movie.
Yeah, we talked about the Star Wars.
Yep.
Well, obviously we've got the Endgame coming here soon.
Yes.
Apparently the trailer that we got is misguided. So they came out and pretty much said like there might be footage in there from
they have to
other
do that
movies
now.
that we've done in the past.
Yeah.
So apparently like whatever they put out, it's not really. They taken you for a wild goose chase. So I'm excited for that. We already talked about Captain Marvel. I went and saw Fighting with the Family. which is the WWE story of Paige. The Rock's in it briefly. It's about the Paige, the wrestler who became like the youngest WWE Diva champion.
Oh,
And it
Paige.
Yeah, it shows her.
Didn't she get like fucked up here recently?
Well, she injured herself. And she has a bunch of sex tapes. And all that.
Well,
other
that
stuff.
was old. The sex tapes were old news, but I thought like she broke her neck.
She fucked herself up. She's pretty much done. Yeah. But anyway,
She was really good too. It was unfortunate. She was one of the best they had there for them.
Saw that movie, and that was really, really good. That's a really good movie. I think it's like super highly rated on Rotten Tomatoes. So I saw that. That was good. I recommend that to anybody that loves even a good sports type movie. Like it's one of those like come up movies. Makes you feel good. You see like them training and them going through their tough times and coming out on top. And it's a true story too. So it was really well done. And career-ending neck injury. Yeah. And Cersei from Game of Thrones is the mom in that. She does great.
Makes sense because she kind of has a look that she would kind of look like Paige's mom. Yeah, actually a little bit.
Dude, it's a great movie.
We're getting a lot of good wrestling shit. We got that Hogan thing coming up. That's gonna be fire.
Out. If you can watch the fighting with the family on Netflix, whatever, definitely take time to watch it. It's not one that you have to run into theater and see. Yeah, because it's not really there's not really too theatrical about it, but it was cool to sit down and burn a couple hours. And good news coming out from the movie Us, which is Key and Peele's what's his face's newest movie, the guy who created Get Out. Did you see Get Out or Jordan Peele? Sorry,
I haven't seen it yet. No.
So
I know it's incredible, but I haven't seen it yet.
It's very, very good. Jordan Peele is still sticking with sort of the horror genre. Apparently it's great. It was 100% on Rotten Tomatoes for a long time. Now it's 94% now that more people have seen it.
Terrible.
Apparently it's even better than Get Out. It's pretty incredible. I'm looking forward to going to see that. And that's pretty much
that dude. Can we just say that dude's out there fucking killing it right now?
Yeah, he's crushing it. Yeah, he's crushing it. He's becoming the Quentin Tarantino's trailer came out for his Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes.
Like his newest movie that's coming out. It's a movie all about old Hollywood. You should see this trailer.
Okay.
It's totally Quentin Tarantino. It looks amazing. There's a guy in there that plays Bruce Lee. He looks just like, it's kind of fucking creepy. He looks and sounds just like Bruce Lee. And Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, a whole line of fucking crazy good actors are in this movie. It looks awesome. So that trailer just came out. And
I haven't seen Brad Pitt in a movie in a hot minute.
Yeah, it's been a while since he's been in theaters and anything reputable. In fact, I don't even remember what.
He's got like 87 kids, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, and a failed marriage.
Yeah,
and,
that's unfortunate.
All kinds of other crazy shit that's gone on. So, it's just the life.
Wouldn't you want to be a fly in the wall in that to see what's really going on? Because we're never going to know what actually is going on behind the scenes in that crazy-ass relationship.
Would have been nuts. A lot of hot, crazy sex and a lot of crazy other shit.
Just crazy in general.
Just a lot of crazy.
I can see them both being their own special brand of crazy.
Well, you have to be a special brand of crazy to be Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't just become those guys without having a special bit of crazy.
Do you think he just walks around the house constantly eating finger food like he does in the movie?
Yes, I do. I do.
Doesn't matter. He's in a full-blown argument, shirt off, full-blown argument with the wife, baby in one hand.
Grapes in the other. Doesn't give a fuck. Doesn't give a fuck. Why not? Why not?
Yes, definitely.
But yeah, that's pretty much all of it.
There was something, I can't remember the name of it, but I might check it out. There's a Netflix specific show, or Netflix original, with starring Idris Elba, I think it was. By the looks of it anyway. It looked like Idris when I was scrolling through my phone last night. I can't remember the name of it.
Say that again? Idris Elba what?
A Netflix original show thing.
Oh. I thought I heard about that too.
Let's see if I can...
Yeah, I remember seeing him...
Turn Up Charlie.
That's it, yeah.
I don't know what it's about or anything. I just saw it pop up.
Idris Elba's everywhere.
I saw Idris Elba and I went,
is this guy asleep? Did you see Idris Elba in his new single? Like his rap single?
Yes.
This guy is everywhere.
He's doing everywhere, doing everything.
Fuck it. You know, it is what it is.
So just look, it's fucking Idris Elba. And so I was interested immediately, and maybe I'll give it a little look-see. But yeah, it just surprised me. I was like, dude, how is this guy finding the time to do all this shit? Because he's in damn near everything at the same time. If that's it, Mr. Black,
That's it.
It's time to remind everyone to hit that like button if you're watching here on YouTube Live or in the VOD afterwards.
Yes.
Make sure to hit that like button and pump those numbers up.
We got to beat 400, I think 490 likes on our last podcast. So if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this live, hit the like button.
Rookie numbers.
We're going for 500.
Pump those numbers up.
We got to hit 500.
And if you're listening to this on iTunes or Spotify or anything, if you have a moment and it crosses your mind at some point in the day after listening to this, probably on the way home or on the way to work, rate us.
Please leave a review.
Makes a difference.
I didn't know Spotify was doing well. I just totally
Spotify's
forgot.
been slowly. Spotify's friggin' huge, and they only just started to really open up podcasts pretty considerably not too long ago.
Yeah.
And I finally got us on there. Because before we couldn't, because they were looking.
I wonder if it's random people that are finding us, or if it's
really
viewers.
hard to tell. But I know that, for example, like the reason why we weren't on earlier on Spotify was because they were looking for pretty specific curated content, and you had to like do a pitch to even get onto the podcast. But then more recently, they just kind of opened it up and said if you have like a show, you can just submit it, and as long as you don't like do anything too crazy.
You're good.
You're good, and you can get on.
We're not too crazy.
And so it's all there, episode 1 all the way through.
Damn,
and
nice.
It's all on there,
Sweet.
and it's doing well. So, excuse me, Mr. Black, hit me up with a little sound of tech support.
Tech support.
All right. Thankfully, we only had 2 questions before I refreshed, but we have more now. We have more to choose from. Here's an interesting question of sorts here. Oh, actually, wait, let me. 8910 asks, what was the most live viewers each of you has had, and do you remember what you were streaming at the time?
League of Legends 23,000.
Yeah, you hit the front page, I think.
I wasn't
that
even.
day.
I wasn't even front. I don't even think I was front page. I had front page Reddit for doing like a Master Exploder, and then I got hosted by. I think Trick2G, and then I think Night Blue rated me at one point. There was a lot. There was just a lot.
There was a lot of big raids.
There was a lot of big raids and shit.
Yeah.
It only lasts for so long, and I popped champagne, and it was
You put the maximum show on.
I went fucking balls to the wall, and that was it. The second most was during my wedding. I think we peaked around 18K at one point.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most I ever had. Because I've never really been front page, never done anything, but the most I had was when I was doing Hearthstone stuff when it was still in beta. And I was, I think, at my peak, I hit, I think it was 1,800.
It was close. I think you might even hit more than 2,000 at one point.
There might have been a small time because I never got raided by anyone, and it was literally just the hype of Hearthstone and the fact that I wasn't dog shit. That's literally the only thing. There's the only 2 things you needed to be. And that was the show.
Good old days.
It happened. That's all you needed.
It's the good old days.
I don't have it anymore.
Now you need tits.
If I hit 100 viewers these days, I'm fucking.
You need everything.
I'm dancing around the room naked. Shit's getting real. Let's see. What was the? Let's see.
Patreon.com/LagTV.
Patreon.com/LagTV. $10 a month. You get to ask these questions weekly. This is an obvious short one, but I'll ask this while I'm reading the rest. Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
Do you ever need to strip down to take a power poop? Just get buck naked.
Yes.
So it just needs to happen.
Yes, I've done that. I've done that multiple times. This was like almost a year ago now. I think I talked about it on the podcast after it happened, but I was so constipated one day, like the worst it's ever been in my life. Like I've had painful shits before, but this was like I might die. Like this was like the shit it was like rock hard. It wasn't coming out. It was like it hurt. Like my asshole wanted to stretch. It was like a boulder. It was like a fucking one of those things.
That happens.
I tried virtually. I almost get to the point where I'm like I might have to like put Vaseline in my ass. to like get this thing to come out. Like it was that bad. So I stripped down butt ass naked, and I was sweating. And then like I'd sit down and just like some gas would come out, and then I'd get up and walk around, and then I'd feel like it was coming, and then I'd sit back down and it wasn't happening. Yeah, that happened last year. It was the worst pain, and it hurt so bad. Like it fucking was horrible, man. That was the most painful shit I've ever had, and I was butt ass naked. Terrible.
I've had it a couple times. I've had a terrible digestive system my whole life, and it was really bad when I was in my like early mid-teens. And it was the type of stuff I was checked from. I was scoped. I was everything at the hospital. I had nothing wrong. It was just I had a terrible fucking digestive system, and so I had like a couple of times where I almost passed out from pain. Painful shits, and I was absolutely I'd start not naked, but by the time I got like into it, I was just slowly everything was coming off.
The shirt, I have shits once every 2 weeks where the shirt comes off. I just take the shirt off and I just sit there. Sometimes I just gotta like push down on my belly.
Yeah, you gotta
and just like kind of
help
like
it along.
Yeah, just fucking come on now.
Massaging it.
Yeah, the squatty potty really helps, man. I'm telling you, the squatty potty is the real deal. I'm telling you, when you can sit down and take a shit like where your knees are up like that, and your
that's
legs
me
are
on
up,
every toilet.
I'm telling you, dude, it needs to come standard on toilets, man. The shit is real. You got to get a squatty potty for like $20, bro. It changes
your
shit
the
game. It changes the shit game, and that shit, the painful shit that I had, I took upstairs in my master bathroom, so I didn't even have the squatty potty. I was in such pain and agony, there was no way I could even go down 3 flights of stairs to get to the other bathroom. I took the shit upstairs. It was a bad life choice. Get the squatty potty. I'm telling you, it's worth the $20. I'm not even getting paid to say it. It's just life-changing.
Thankfully for me, I have a built-in squatty potty. It's called having a 38-inch inseam.
Yes.
And then so if it's a standard toilet, my knees are at my ears anyway.
Yes.
So it's a permanent squatty potty situation for me. No. Unless I'm at my parents where they installed a much higher, because everyone's tall.
Because they're all giants.
And then everyone else sits on it and their feet are dangling off the toilet.
I remember I said this in Cass before, but I used to stay at Adam's house, and he had this little bathroom outside his bedroom. I'd go there and sit on the toilet, and my fucking feet... they'd sit there and they'd dangle. I'd literally be swinging my feet in his fucking giant ass. It was like, if I had to put it into perspective, it was almost like going into that Mario 3 world where everything's big and jumbo and you're a little tiny Mario, and like you go on one of those little tunnels, those little pipes. And you'd stand on the pipe, and this is the pipe. But this is you and this is Mario. That's the toilet. So this is the fucking toilet, and that's my feet dangling. That's shitting at Adam's parents' house.
Yeah.
As a normal person,
yeah,
because they're all giants. They're all giants, all of them. They've shrunk a little bit as they've gotten older.
Old age.
They've shrunk a little bit. So now I only have to slightly look up at them. But back in the day when I wasn't 6 foot and I was like fucking 5'8". And I'm sitting on Adam's parents' toilet, the shit, there's literally half a foot from the fucking thing to the ground. I'm like, who the fuck are these?
Can you imagine
people?
what it was like for Natalie when we first installed those toilets? And she literally came out of it. It was the first time she used it, and she was like, what the hell is that toilet?
They're not normal.
Because at her parents' place is an old house, and the toilet was literally
on the ground?
8 inches off the ground. Yeah. And so for me there, it was almost impossible for me to shit because it was so far down that it was uncomfortable. I couldn't even fucking move. It was in this cramped little space, and my knees were like fucking shoved like this.
It's like shitting in a bucket.
Just shitting in a bucket. It was just bad.
It was like you're camping.
Yeah, it was like Andre the Giant in Japan or some shit. It was fucking awkward. So yeah, it's quite an experience. Luke asks, and he's a new Patreon, so thank you, Luke.
Thank you, Luke.
If you could have any video game adapted into a movie or TV show, which game would it be, and who would you want, casting and directing and or whatever? What kind of a story arc would you might like it to be? Just the usual shebang.
Oh boy, I'm gonna go with The Last of Us.
Okay.
And the lead is Hugh Jackman.
Okay.
As for the girl, Ellen Page.
I feel like that's literally who they were modeled after.
I think you know who else could play it. Who whose career has kind of dropped off, is what's his face, Mr. 300.
Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler. I think he could play the role too.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
I'm gonna go with Hugh Jackman, Ellen Page, Last of Us, making a movie. That's it.
That's a pretty good choice.
Rated R. Reminds me of like Logan, you know?
Yeah.
Give me it.
Man, that's a tough. That is a tough call. I have so many ideas in my mind. It's like I can't just like settle down on one specifically. But let's go with Mirror's Edge because we talked about it last week.
Okay.
And who would star in it? Man. There's a couple of female Asian actors that have really kind of come up over the last few years that have done relatively well. I don't know who exactly I'd go with.
Somebody young or somebody older?
I get, well, ideally would want to be younger, but at the same time, like there are some that just make more sense. Like you could go for what's her name? She was the sister in Altered Carbon.
I only watched the one episode of Altered Carbon, maybe two. I think I watched 2 episodes.
She could maybe do it. I don't know. It's a tough call, but I would like to see something like that. I think it would work as like a campy little movie, for sure. But there's definitely better choices. I think I'd just like to see that kind of expanded upon a bit. Yeah. The other choices that I'd like to see is just Mass Effect. Just make Mass Effect happen.
Yeah.
Choose any arc in Mass Effect, and show me that. And whoever's directing it and whatnot, I have no idea. I'm not good enough at that stuff to be able to say. But I think that Mass Effect is, just by the nature of the game itself, and it's a kind of a shoe-in. Yeah. Other than those two, I don't fucking know, dude. Any games, it's so hard to pick one. Last of Us is like a really easy choice because it's pretty much delivered.
It's pretty cinematic as it is.
It's delivered like a cinematic experience anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck, that's fucking tough. You know what would be a wild choice? Bayonetta. Just put Bayonetta and put like let's go Bayonetta with.
Kind of already had something like that with Lucy and shit, like those type of movies, and this didn't do all that.
No,
well.
I don't think Lucy's really comparable to what Bayonetta would turn out to be. Bayonetta would just be like a super over the top, relatively CG heavy gong show, and let's put James Wan at the helm. And then who plays Bayonetta? Gal Gadot plays Bayonetta.
Jesus.
She's the tall, dark-haired, lanky-looking deal. Give her the long hair. Give her the fucking pistol, high heels, and
basically you want Alita, but with guns and more guns.
Sure,
that's what it is.
Make it happen.
That's Bayonetta.
But yeah, there you go. There's your answer for that. Let's see what else we got here. Already talked about the Stadia for Duke. Here, I guess this comes in from Jesus Crust. Since the rape thing came up, how do you feel about taking slaves in a game like, for example, Conan the Barbarians, or the Conan, which is like the survival game? You can take slaves in that.
It's whatever. I mean, it's not something I really think about in games.
Yeah.
I think it's like saying, what do you think about taking prisoners, or something like that. I think we've already touched on it. If I'm not playing a game that is centered around keeping my plantation in fucking check, and I'm going out and whipping black people and collecting cotton and selling it on the market and doing whatever, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But if I'm playing a game and part of it is in like a subplot or a small, like not the focus
contextually.
Yes, I mean it's the same thing like saying, what do you think about watching movies that have these sort of things in it? I'm okay with violence. I'm okay with, for example, rape.
Context is awfully
context
important.
is absolutely important. That's what it is. It's context. That's just there's no other way to explain it.
Yeah.
If I'm not going to go out and buy or support Plantation the game, I'm not going to go out and support, shoot 'em up school the game or rape the game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But if there are certain things in a game that are, sort of on the extreme level of disturbing or whatever, that furthers the story, and it's just part of something or an experience that a character went through when they were younger that has molded them to the individual, because that's what makes certain characters believable, is these terrible things that happen to them that people can relate to, that add to their personality, that add to the character that they are today, and the things that they look down on or they're afraid of or whatever. And it just all depends on the context of said content. That's really it. That's just the best way I can put it.
Last question coming in from Shady, who is on the ball every week with pretty good questions
Okay, Shady, let's go.
that
Shady.
other people don't ask, haven't asked before.
Okay.
What's the best or worst birthday present you ever received?
The worst birthday present I've ever received. I would go with. The worst birthday present. I
know what mine was.
What's that?
It was the original Ricky Martin CD I got for my birthday during a time where I was not exactly feeling me some Ricky Martin at all.
Okay. I would say probably the worst gift that I've ever gotten, and I think I have it. I can't see it there.
I was not living the Vida Loca at the time, if you know what I'm saying.
No, you definitely weren't.
No.
Just because I don't really remember any bad gifts per se, but my mom did buy me. This was when I was still working at Swiss Chalet. This was like sort of the last. I think it might have been the first year I worked at Swiss Chalet. This was sort of like the last birthday gift that I got from my parents. Like, and it was weird because I never really got many gifts. Like, I did when I was a kid.
Of course,
but, as an adult or, a teenager that is older. They had gotten me, my mom had bought me Assassin's Creed.
Black Flag?
Yes, that's the one it was. And the game was so bad. Because she knew I played the Assassin's Creeds up to some point. So they ended up getting, because I didn't have much money. So they were like, what do you want? And that was what I asked for. And then when I got the game and then I watched a couple of YouTube videos and stuff, and then like the reviews and everything was just horrible, I never actually ended up ever opening it. It just stayed in its wrapper, and then it eventually just disappeared. I don't know where it went or whatever. But that's probably
a lot of people like Black Flag too. It was kind of divisive, that one.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's probably the worst gift because for one, I never used it, and then I never played it. So I would say that's it. Just because I can't really think of anything that I've gotten for my birthday that was like bad.
I've always gotten pretty standard birthday gifts to the point where I don't know if I remember like a really specific like best birthday gift. Because I never asked for anything extraordinary anyway. Usually for me, even growing up, I just wanted a little bit of money or something so I could buy, like if a game came out, but it wasn't out at the time, for that kind of deal. And if it wasn't that, then when we started golfing, I got a lot of like golf balls, tees, stuff like that kind of deal. It was like it's just become like it's become a joke. At Christmas time, I always get a bunch of golf balls, even though I haven't golfed in a couple of years. But I always get a bunch of golf balls, and Dad always gets bottles of wine. And it's like the two go-to presents. The difference being Dad drinks his wine and I don't use my golf balls all that much. I hope to do some more this year. I'd like to get out and actually swing the club some more. But yeah,
I usually got money too, or like
that's kinda
a
how it
video
went.
game or something. But my best, you can't go wrong with this gift. Steak and a BJ.
There you go.
What more?
What more can you ask for?
What more can you ask for? Every man's birthday, if you've got a woman, or if you got Tinder, you can get a steak.
It's my birthday. Swipe right or whatever if you want to cook me a steak and give me a blowjob.
Steak and BJ, it's a thing.
It's true.
It's a thing for
I think
many
they have
men
a
out there.
national day for that.
There is a Steak and BJ Day, and I actually think Steak and BJ Day wasn't too long ago. I never
Yeah.
got a steak or a BJ.
Yeah, no, that's because it's probably one of the dumbest things anyone's ever invented.
Yes, and I
from
think
the
I think
standpoint
it was
that,
like the
like-
day after Father, or not the day. I think there was like a. Oh no! Somebody posted on Facebook that it was their birthday the day before Steak and BJ, and then he ended up getting Steak and BJ both
Back
days.
to back. Damn!
Damn! This woman sucking dick.
Damn!
Ah, I'm jealous. Fuck.
That is definitely a dude invented that shit.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I mean we have a national holiday or national day of literally fucking everything now. So
Yeah,
like
why not?
you think about it, you just come up with it. You're like we could turn right now, March 21st. We could literally invented anything.
Hey, you know
and
what?
just-
Hey, if
you know what March 21st is? National Go Give a Thumbs Up to Every Single Lag T Video Day,
including this one.
including this one.
I'll tell you what. I will commit if the ladies will commit to Steak and BJ.
Yes.
I will commit to dishes and licking some box.
It doesn't really roll off the tongue as easily.
I'll do that. You know, I ain't got a fancy. I'll call it chores and whores or chores and
Chores and whores?
I don't
What?
I don't know what the fuck to call it, but it's something that comes off the tongue a little bit better, if you know what I'm saying. Something that rolls off the tongue.
Literally?
Literally. I'm down. If they want to commit, I'm down to commit to that every month. I'm down to commit once a month to some dishes and some eating in the box for my Steak and BJ Day. I think that's what it should be. I think that's the way it should be.
There you go. Yeah, the women got to hurry up and start making their days then. There you go. That day is Valentine's Day. Not inaccurate. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for the Technical Alpha Podcast this week. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Once again, smash the like button if you're watching this on YouTube Live or otherwise. We really do appreciate it. It goes a long way.
Yes,
Not
sir.
even to just, again, as we said, not even just to get the video out into the open, outside of the community, but just to get YouTube to show the rest of our subscribers.
Please.
Giving it a like actually gets YouTube going to send it out to them, because that's the state of
And
YouTube today.
it puts us in other people's suggested
Yes,
video lists.
exactly.
So if other people are watching gaming related news and different things, or watching a video on Stadia or whatever, then we might get put into the recommended, depending on how much interaction and likes you get on videos. It's pretty stupid, but that's the way it
That's
works.
the way it works. If you do it, we really do appreciate it. Once again, hit us up on iTunes, Spotify, whatever, with a review if you can. Keep watching, keep passing it around. Let anyone else know that you know, if you like this podcast, that they should watch it too. And head on over to patreon.com/LikeTV if you want to be able to financially support us. We'd greatly appreciate it. And you get some pretty neato perks too. Until we see you guys next week, thank you very much for joining us here at Technical Alpha. We'll see you soon. Peace.